Hello. It helps if I bring the microphone close enough for you to hear me. Whoopsies. How are we doing? Is there anybody there yet? Has anybody bothered to come in to say hello? Well, hello. Well, hello. What's happening? I am not sure how my computer is going to cope with this because I'm trying to download my Periscope files, my Periscope broadcasts, and oh, I got stuck. Shift this over. My poor sore back is killing me. I'm trying to download my Periscope files, and I've got something like 18 hours to download them, so I need to get on with it, and that's why it's running slow, I think. No, Colin. What's no? What? What's no? Tell me. What? What? What do you make what's? I've got tea. And I've got a biscuit. Go me, eh? I'm not sure what no is, and I don't know if anybody else has said hi yet. I feel like I'm talking to myself. What's going on, peeps? What's going on, peeps? What go on? Is it too dark? Do I need to put a light on? Oof! Oof! Hooey! That's bright. Ooh! Ooh, I'm blinded by the lights. How are we doing? Oh, you didn't bother to turn up. I'm with you now. You're a figment of my imagination. Slurp. What are you all doing with your night? I think I'm led to believe I quickly skimmed an email earlier, but I need to read it properly and then reply. I believe that my radio show is getting changed from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. So instead of 8 till 10, it'll be 9 till 11. I think. I'll need to double check the email. You love the accent. That's clearly not someone from Scotland. Where are you from? What's your name and where'd you come from? Slurp. What have you all been doing with your day? Come and tell me what you're doing with your day. I'm just about to stuff my fat face. I've got a cup of tea. I'm having a biscuit with it. Do you know why? Because I can. That's not creepy at all. Australia, mate. Which part of Australia are you from, mate? I shouldn't have done that in my film. What's that, Skip? Little Timmy stuck down the well? I'm sorry. No, seriously, which part of Australia are you from? You did some shopping, you did some work, you drank some tea. I think that's all there is to life in the UK at the moment, isn't there? It's all you can do. You're not allowed to do anything else. Well, there are other activities you can take part in, you know, privately at home, but going out-wise, you're only allowed to go out for shopping. Sydney. You're from Sydney. Actually, that reminds me, I need to contact a guy who has a radio station over there in some town I've forgotten the name of, somewhere in the arse end of nowhere between Sydney and Brisbane. I don't even know why I'm saying that. But I'm meant to be contacting him, so I need to do that. You just reminded me. Anyway. So hang on, let me think about this. So you're in Sydney. So what time is it just now? It's 1. 9, 10, 11. So is it about midday there in Sudunu? About noon or 1, early afternoon time? And what kind of music do you play? Questions. You answer my questions and I'll find some music to play. What shall we listen to, guys? Would you like to listen to a brand new release that was just released this week? I say brand new release. It's from an album that was brought out last year, but this is a brand new remix of it. So it counts as a new release. Shall we listen to that? I don't know how loud this will be. I might need to turn it down a little bit. Ultravox. I can do Ultravox. Did I just see Michelle go live? I completely forgot she was doing Thursday. I thought this thing was on a Tuesday. Have I just over broadcast Michelle's planned quiz thing? Right, I'll hang around for half an hour and then I'll pop in there. Michelle, if you see this replay back, I'm really sorry. I completely forgot that your quiz was, you'd moved it from the Tuesday to the Thursday. I usually do a scope on a Thursday because that's where my radio show is. It's a Thursday. Right, I'll play this. This is Vandal Moon, and then I'll put some Ultravox on, and then not just now because I've just started. I feel a bit like, oh, I forgot about that, but equally, Michelle knows that my radio station's on a Thursday, so she'll understand. Do you know what I mean? She'll understand because that's the day I usually come on and talk about the show. Give people a chance to come in and talk if they've listened to it, because I don't do it live now. It's pre-recorded, so I can't change which day my radio show's on. I completely forgot though. I'm a little bit annoyed at myself. I still don't know what kind of music Andrew from Sydney plays. Altered Carbon. Hello, RJ. Why are you hovering around on Periscope? Come in. Did you listen in? Or did you just read the set list? Yeah, I'm just annoyed at myself. It says there are 64 eyeballs come through here, but only 3 people have spoken to me. So what are the other creepy fuckers doing? I can't do that, it's too sore. I just took another cocodamol. I'm hoping it's going to kick in soon. So what's your plan for the evening, Colin? It's getting late. Are you going to be up through the wee small hours? You have no idea. What do you call blind Bambi? No idea. What do you call blind Bambi with broken legs? Still no idea. It's fine. I'll just laugh at my own jokes. Did anybody want to come up and come in and say hi? You'd be very welcome. Okay, Colin wants some Ultravox. So just because Colin asked, not because I'm a massive fan or anything, but just because Colin asked, I will do that. Do you have a particular song in mind? Hang on, I've lost my comments. End of the week for me. A couple of beers. Nice. That sounds good. I can't drink alcohol because of my painkillers. Hi, Molson. How are you doing? We're just looking for music. We're looking for Le Ultravox. Do you want him? We played that last week. I'm looking for the correct album. It's only quartet album. You're freezing. Why are you freezing? Is it super cold there? The question is, Molson, what is it that's freezing? Because normally it's my backside and my feet. What's freezing? Are you freezing your knackers off? What's happening? Oh man, okay, I've just put him on and now you're asking for All Stood Still. I'll play back-to-back Ultravox. You can have two. A cold snap. How cold is it, Molson? It's about 0 degrees here. Of the old Celsius. Hi, Professor. I just realised I messed up, Professor. Hi, Christina. I went live because I usually go live on a Thursday because it's my radio day, and then I realised I was on for like 5 minutes, and then I got a notification that Michelle had gone on with her quiz. So I was just saying I won't stick around for long, and then we can go into Michelle's quiz. I feel really bad that I'd completely forgotten about it. The orchestrated album is awesome with Ty Unwin's. Ty Unwin did a great job on that album. Hiya. I do listen to White Lies. I love White Lies. Do you like White Lies, Christina? They're kind of Ultravox-esque. By the way, if anybody wants to come up, you're more than welcome. Just give me a shout and I'll invite you in. -20. Ooh, shit. That is cold. That's hibernation weather. We would learn from what they had seen. Oh, White Lies are awesome. And my favourite band at the moment are Empathy Test. Well, I've got two. Empathy Test and Vandal Moon. I'll show you these guys. Check these guys out. I've got big boxes, empty boxes here. So this is Vandal Moon. These guys are from somewhere in California. I forget exactly where. San something. Shriveling up weather. Wrinkly, crinkly weather. This is it's the blue vinyl. Professor should be proud of me. It almost cost as much for the postage as it did for the actual album, which was a bit gutting because it came from the States. So they're really good. They've got a kind of, who do they sound like? They sound a bit like they've got kind of goth sort of. I would say there's New Order in there, The Cure. They're good. His vocals sound a little bit like Phil Oakey. I think he sounds a bit like Phil Oakey. Hi Pablo, how are you doing? And so that's, I love Vandal Moon, and I also love Empathy Test. And I've got an Empathy Test here. I need a turntable. I keep buying vinyl and then forgetting I don't have a turntable. I'm frightened to open this. This is still sealed. Hang on, let's switch this thing off. This is the latest album. This was last year. Monsters. I've played this relentlessly in the car. On broadcast, you probably heard it in the background. Ooh, my camera's just disconnected from the Wi-Fi. Awesomeness. Yeah, so Empathy Test. This is a red vinyl, but it's sealed and I don't want to open it. I don't want to ruin it. Not until I can play it. Dave Con. There's a name from the past. There's a blast from the past. Hello. How are you doing over there on Facebook watching? How's life in New York? New York, New York. You came in just at the right time. We're listening to Ultravox. And I'm going to put on All Stood Still, and then I might play some Empathy Test and let you hear them. Unboxing vinyl. You're unboxing vinyl, or I'm unboxing vinyl. I don't want to destroy the seal on that vinyl. I'm hoping to get a turntable, and I'm going to get this shelf's too narrow, it's depth-wise to put a turntable on it. So I'm going to clear this shelf, and I'm going to put a turntable here because the cable isn't too far to reach my mixer here. Or these monitors are actually Bluetooth, so I can just Bluetooth it. You're watching Doctor Who with Scarlet. Which series of Doctor Who, Dave? My youngest one's a big Doctor Who fan. I've been brainwashed with the DVD box set from Christopher Eccleston onwards. Mid-2000s. I've got to watch what I'm doing because my back's still killing me. The turbines cracked up. The buildings froze up. The system choked up. Excellent. So what have the rest of you been doing with your day? Season 3, so that's David Tennant, is it? I don't know if Colin's still there. Oh, he is still there. I really would love to do a broadcast where I just screen share Ultravox videos and explain why they inspired how I do photography. But it's so slow screen sharing anything from YouTube. Martha Jones. Martha. God, my mind's a blank. Martha Jones. Oh, yeah. The doctor. She's a student doctor. You're making a huge playlist for tomorrow's quiz. Oofed. Any particular genre? How does that play out? Do you just play all sorts, or do you have a theme? You're rocking in your chair. I wish I could, but I'm being careful with this dodgy back. I want to, but every time I move a certain way, I'm like, I'm about to hit the roof. You're watching hockey. Awesome. Hockey or ice hockey? Or is it much the same muchness? You're working on eBay packages. Nice. You've all been very productive. You're putting me to shame. But I've got tea, so I beat y'all. I don't have much left though. Trying to choke on it, Helen. Jeez, oh. You're going to start with A bands. Play about 5 songs on their, not their hugest hits. I'm presuming Adam and the Ants are going to be in there somewhere. Oh, do you like my mug? Has anybody not seen my mug yet? This is a photo of me with my brow on my head on a mug. As you do. Just all in a day, all in a normal day for Helen. AWB. Auto white balance. What? Oh, you're talking about bands. You're wrestling with your lazy boy. It wants to put me in a sleeper hold. Oh, the chair. I thought you were saying you had a lazy boy. I was going to say, I thought he'd left home and he got a girlfriend. Thank you for the super heart. Thank you for the super clap. Super claps all round. Much appreciated. You've got the same mug, Colin. Is it you with the brow on your head on the mug? We should all get one made. We should all do the same thing. Have our own photo with a brow on our head. That's funny. Okay, I'm going to play some... Oh, the average white band. Of course it is. My brain went to photography mode. I'm going to play some... I love Ultravox, and they were my first musical love, and they will always be my favourite band. However, I'm going to play some Empathy Test for you guys, because I don't think Christina knows them, and I think she would like them. I'm going to play the first song that they released, and then I'll play the new album. And it'll give you an idea, roughly, the kind of sound that they have. Aztec Camera, Aretha, Annie Lennox. Awesome. Love it. I completely forgot about the average white band, you know. Grabbed your phone and added to it. Awesome. And that other guy as well, the Cult with No Name, when you were talking about Brian Ferry, he reminds me of Brian Ferry. I actually did an interview with him, Eric Stein from Cult with No Name, and we did it on Zoom, and we talked for like 2 hours and 34 minutes. It's almost a 3-hour interview without any music in it. So I don't know, I need to, it'll be about a 4-hour interview if I put the songs in, because he was going through 10 songs. Hi, Chris. Hi, Lindsay. So, hi, Brenda. So, I might have to edit that down a wee bit. We just it's like we had a good old chinwag over a cup of tea. I'm not very good at formal questions, so interviews tend to just become a chat, you know? There's plenty of time, Christina. But I think you and I have very similar tastes in music, so I think you would like these bands. I think I've liked them best out of the different bands you've played. Who? Empathy Test? Or Cult with No Name? I've just picked my shellac off my nail, and now I'm going to have to... Now I've got some coloured nails and some clear nails. Just been peeling it off. Of course, there's nowhere open. I'll have to do it myself. I don't know what the sound of the music's like, because I think it's just the mic that's picking it up, so I don't know how poor quality that is. Oh, did you listen in? Was it all right? I've uploaded it to Mixcloud, so people can usually sort of listen back. I don't do very much talking. I try to play as many songs as I can back to back with as little talking as possible. Sounding soft rock. Yeah, I was kind of brainwashed with things like the Eagles and John Denver and oh, cool. Yeah, those are tracks that don't really get played very often. That's what I try to do, Lindsay, is play songs that don't normally get played on commercial radio. Most of them are independent artists that are not on record labels. Bands like this, Empathy Test, they're not signed to anyone. They're doing all their releases themselves. And remixes of other songs that don't normally get played. What song was what? Sorry, Christina. And I hope that when people listen in, if they listen in, they discover something they hadn't heard before. That's the whole aim of doing the radio, is hoping that someone somewhere will discover something they hadn't heard before, and then go away and investigate that, and more of that band stuff. Turn the sound up slightly. Okay. Garbage. I love Garbage. I wanted to be Shirley Manson in the mid-90s when I was in my own band. Bare My Soul. This song was called Losing Touch. Losing Touch. And I'm going to play the new album. It's much more organic, the new album. They've got live acoustic drums on there rather than just drum machine drums. Well, actually, they didn't have just drum machine drums before, but it was electronic drums they had before. Whereas Chrissy's put acoustic-y drums on this album. Yep. I actually would really love to do an interview with Isaac. I'm going to try and approach him and ask him if he wouldn't mind doing a Zoom chat. I think that would be a really good... He's sent over, voice recordings for things like New Year and stuff like that, little messages to play out, but we haven't actually done an interview with him. I'd like to do that. And I'd like to get Blake Voss from Vandal Moon as well. I haven't, Lindsay. And Pixies, I'm hit and miss with. I'm much more electronic-y focused. When I was doing... Sorry, I know that Molson asked me to turn that up, but I feel like I'm shouting over it. When I was doing live radio, it was much more variant because I would play what they had on the system in the studio, as well as my own CDs or whatever. And people would make requests, and it was a 3-hour show. So it was much more varied, and I kind of miss that a little bit, because although I love the electronica stuff, and a lot of electronic fans are listening in, and more often than not the Mixcloud gets into the electro chart in the top 40 or whatever, I do feel like I'm slightly restricted. We've got the top commenter tag. Round of applause. I do feel a little bit like I'm narrowing my audience slightly by doing that. So I'm thinking of doing a second type show with a co-host where we'll talk about a much wider variety of music, not just... So I'll still do my mixtape, which will be mostly electronica, but I'm hoping to do, more chatting and bouncing off someone else, and like they'll talk about the music they like, and we'll both bring something to the table rather than just that sort of like restrictive. Because I do feel like I've got myself into that sort of like electronica, and I love electronica, but I do want to play. I don't want to be just labelled as being just playing electro, Hi, Sylvia. Welcome from London. Yes, I feel like I have. Since I've switched stations and started uploading my own Mixcloud. Like so what happened was I came back from Australia at the end of March, and the studio had closed, and they said you have to record from home. You can't come into the studio because of COVID. And I didn't know. I didn't have any equipment or anything. I'd never recorded from home. I'd only done live radio, and I'd only been doing it since the October before. And I was having to record from home. I ended up switching stations from the station that's like over an hour away, nearly 2 hours away, to a local Edinburgh station because I was recording from home anyway. So since I've been doing that, I do feel like I'm much more focused on electronica, and it's those fans that are listening in and tuning in, and I love that fan base, and don't get me wrong, I'm really grateful for them listening in and making it top 40 most weeks or whatever. But I do want to play other stuff. I also want to do live radio, and if I can't do live radio, I want to at least record something with someone else so it feels more organic and more live. No worries, Lindsay. Thanks for popping in, and thanks for listening. Appreciate that. So yeah, I've got a couple of things in the pipeline. I'd like to do something maybe on a late night, like I've got a couple of people in mind that I'd like to try and work with. I want to try and record something with a couple of different people and see how that works out, see what the rapport's like, and try and do that, as well as even if I did that one fortnightly, maybe. Yes, Christina, I'll actually maybe wrap this up and head over. I feel really, really bad that I'd completely forgotten she was doing it on Thursday. So I'll see you over there in a wee bit. Thank you for coming in. Feel I don't know who I've still got here. If you're still here, can you just say hi so I know you're still here? Try and help me. Should I just have a quick look and just double check she's still on, she's still live? Hi Sylvia, how's it going? How's your day been? What have you been doing? Tell me all about it. And you still there, Mosa? Empty-handed. So are you still wrestling with that lazy boy or what? Did you get it fixed? Bright light, bright light, bright, 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 bright. What shall we do? Played on Haps earlier, trying to learn how to use it with friends on with me. We had a giggle. Excellent. How are you finding it? Are you just new? How long have you been on it, and how are you finding it? Can you always give it a thump? That's usually how you usually how you fix things that are giving you grief. Wallop. TV's dodgy, give it a thump. Computer's dodgy, give it a thump. You had to return your heating blanket to Costco. Why? Was it not working? Was it not heating you up enough? I don't think it was designed to cope with minus 20 weather, Mawson. Joined last weekend's. Just been following people supporting. Only done 2 lives, though, but I do love the friendly community. The community is great. There are lots of really nice people. A lot of really nice people. You're driving to the post office. Do you want to jump in while you're driving? Or nah? It's up to you. You'd be more than welcome if you wanted to. You joined last weekend. Would you like to come in and have a little chat, Sylvia? Do you know how to do all that yet? Do you know how to get in and, go live? Or have you been in other people's broadcasts, or have you only sort of done your own? You're still listening. There's nothing particularly interesting happening, Professor. I'm just, I said I'd come in and, hang around for another half hour or so. I feel really bad about Michelle's broadcast. I'm keeping an eye on that as well. Oh, it's not a music quiz she's doing. It's something else. Oh, man. Blanket feels like when you take warm clothes out of the dryer. Blanket feels like when you take warm clothes out of the dryer. I think the show went okay, Professor, although when it played out, it did sound like there was some kind of like a glitch. It sounded like I was talking over myself at one point. But when I've uploaded the file to Mixcloud, it sounds okay. So I don't know if it was just a glitch on the broadcast or what happened there. But I like that even though I'm not broadcasting live, people still talk about it in real time. They'll talk to you on social media or whatever. They'll comment on Twitter or they'll DM you on Instagram or whatever it is. They'll comment on it as it's playing out. I like that. You've only done it on your own. There's plenty of time. Yeah, I don't know why that was, but like I say, it seems to be okay on the SoundCloud when I've uploaded it on SoundCloud. So I think the only difference is I had sent an MP3 to the station. Oh, I've got crumbs on my sleeve. I'd sent an MP3 to the station, and it's a WAV file that's on SoundCloud. I don't know if that's got something to do with it, although it shouldn't make any difference. I need to sort my back. I took a painkiller, but it's taking a little bit of time to kick in. You don't realise how bright your normal screen, how dark Haps's studio screen is until you go into a different tab, and it's like bright light, and then you come back to the Hap Studio, which is nice and dark, and it's like, okay, that's okay. Then you jump into something else, and it's like bright light. Have you got a lot of parcels to post, Professor? Are you heavily laden? Who was wrong and who's to blame? Routine madness. Drowning in these moods, so well defined, but I cannot. You got an email from Haps and there's a new update coming. It's been released, Molson, on iOS. I don't know what you use, but the iOS update's already been 6.6 is already out. I haven't tested it yet. Maybe I should have done that. Maybe I should have. So this is the only time I'm going to get a chance to broadcast this week because I've got other things happening every other day. But I feel really terrible that I'm live, and I completely forgot Michelle was going live. Because she normally would have done it on a Tuesday, and her internet was dodgy on the Tuesday. I'm kind of sitting here racked with guilt that we're both live at the same time. Who's to blame? I know I'm not going to get a chance to come and say hi to anybody for the rest of the week or over the weekend. Go this unrelenting wheel of fate. Well, Snap, you're Android, aren't you? If I remember correctly. Yeah, your Android. Don't know when they're releasing that. I think they're doing it. They said they were going to try and get it out soon, but I'm not sure when that's going to happen. They also keep sort of promising, threatening, indicating, hinting that Twitch will be getting integrated, which I'm looking forward to because I've been trying to connect it to Twitch since I got here and have failed epically. No guilt. We can flit between broadcasts. Yes. Make sure you go and give Michelle some love because I feel really bad that, like I say, I'd completely forgotten that she did say she was changing it from Tuesday to Thursday, but I'd forgotten. But I always go on a Thursday because, well, I always go on whatever day my show is. I used to go live on a Friday after my radio show. Anyway. How are you? How's it going? What time is it over there? Is it sort of midday over there? No, I know that, Molson. I feel guilty. I feel bad. I had completely forgotten about it until I saw the notification pop up on my because normally when you go live, you don't get a notification, but I'm not using my phone for the broadcast. I'm using my phone as a webcam, so I still get notifications coming across the screen. And when I saw it, I was like, oh, shit. There is a big delay in the comments, but that's variable as well because sometimes I've been in other people's broadcasts and the comments have seemed like almost instantaneous, so I'm not quite sure why it's inconsistent. Nearly midday. I'm glad that you're good. That's cool. What's on the agenda for the day? You got anything happening? Is it as late as a minute? Do you know what to do, Molson? Type something, and then I'll read it out as soon as I see it, and count. Like as soon as you've typed it and sent it, count how many seconds, and I'll tell you when I see it. And we'll test the latency. You're back. Welcome back, Christina. You're having lunch. Awesome. I just had a chocolate biscuit with my cup of tea, and I kind of want another cup of tea now. It was a good one. You know how sometimes you get a really decent cup of tea or a decent cup of coffee, and then you want another one, but it's never quite the same as the one you had before. Latency's bad. Is it? Oh no. I noticed whose broadcast was it I was in, and I think it was some kind of music quiz or something, and I was seeing answers before I was even hearing any music, or like the answers were coming through from other people before I even heard anything. And I was like, how can that happen? I think that's my connection that's the problem at that point. But I'm still waiting for Molson to type something and count. A podcast. I don't know if you'd call it a podcast. It's called Helen's Mixtape, and it goes out on Vault Radio on a Thursday, which is a little local internet radio station, community radio station. I used to be an FM, an Ofcom regulated FM station before that, and I want to get back into that again. I want to get back into live broadcast. I'm not enjoying the pre-recording thing. Don't get me wrong, I love music, but pre-recording a show is quite lonely. It's not the same as doing it live. So what happens is it goes out on a Thursday night, and they're changing the time. I think they're making it 9 till 11 on a Thursday night. And then delay test. Molson says delay test. So how many seconds was that? On scope that happens, you can clear that up. Sometimes you're coming back, but it doesn't make any difference if you go out and come back. The other thing I did notice is it's quicker on a phone. The desktop's slower. Like the phone's slightly quicker. So if I have if I put the same broadcast on, if I'm watching a broadcast on the desktop and on the mobile, it comes through on the mobile quicker by maybe, I don't know, half a second or a second than it does on the desktop. Yeah, it's different live. Yeah, so it goes, sorry, I get halfway through a sentence and then I change subjects. It goes out on the radio, and then it goes up on Mixcloud so people can listen back after it's been out, after it's been broadcast. Yeah, and I don't quite know why that is, because it's the same like Wi-Fi. It's not like the phone's on 4G and the computer's on the internet, on the Wi-Fi. They're both on the Wi-Fi. Yep. Well, I'm usually on the desktop. That'll be why I'm so slow on the quizzes then. It's not my slow brain, it's my slow internet. It's my slow computer. Computer says no. Squirrel! "80 seconds. 80 seconds. That's like a minute and a half almost. You'll ask your IT genius husband. Yeah. Say to him, is it Helen's really slow brain? Or is it Helen's really slow desktop? I think I'm funny. Somebody has to. You've got your computer on the Ethernet, so no slowdown. I don't know. I think it's something to do with the actual broadcast studio rather than... Although you're not broadcasting, so that wouldn't make sense. Maybe. But it still doesn't explain why a mobile phone on the same Wi-Fi is faster than the desktop on the Wi-Fi. There's Jim's trivia quiz on Saturday when I saw the answers before the quiz. Yes, same. I think I'd come into that really late, just as it was finishing. You're right, I was the same. I was seeing answers before getting the question. I think it's happened on Michelle's as well before. It's really strange when it happens, but I have been on desktop both times, so that would explain it. It's all suddenly coming together. All the pieces are all suddenly coming together. You're resorted to having the phone and the computer on at the same time. Why? Chipset. But then surely that would be dependent on the computer itself. And Christina won't have the same computer as me, but she's just said that her desktop's the same. Well, the desktop is, I bought it maybe 5 months ago, and the iPhone is about 6 years old because it's a 6S. So the computer is significantly newer than the phone. Hubby doesn't know. Hubby's sacked, Christina. Hubby's no good in a trivia quiz. If you were going to rely on him for Who Wants to Be a Millionaire as your phone a friend, we run like tears through the flood of holy rivers. We run like tears through the flood of holy rivers. Phone is iPhone 12 Pro, computer is MacBook Air 1, so I'm super new all over the place. Ooh, get you with your arty-farty technology. No, this is, to be fair, this is a cheap desktop because my all-in-one computer packed in, and my laptop, I needed to actually get that fixed before I went to Australia, and I thought, oh, I'll sort it when I come back, and never did because of COVID. Everything was closed, and so I had 2 computers go down, and rather than fanny around trying to get them fixed, I thought I'll just order this thing. So it's pretty basic, but it's new. I think it's an i3 core processor. i3, i5. No, my laptop's an i5. I think this is an i3. I only know I don't use Wi-Fi, so I can use a wired connection. Yeah, I'm too far away from the telephone line. Like, there's nowhere to connect an Ethernet here. Like, it's in a completely different room. The router's in the hall, so doesn't know the behind the scenes stuff for Scope, what kind of stuff they run. That's true. You're on an iPhone 8 Plus. Yeah, my iPhone's a 6S. I refuse to upgrade things just because we're constantly told that we should. I'll upgrade it when it needs upgrading. I'm still using a DSLR camera that only does stills. It doesn't do video because it does what I need it to do, and I refuse to upgrade it. Touch wood, God forbid, until I need to. I'm touching this because this is actually wood and my desk is laminated chipboard. I only know I don't use Wi-Fi. You know what? You're quite right, Guy. I totally get it. I'm just not near enough the router to be, or the router, whatever, to be able to plug it in. Got an open box MacBook Air, like $300. Like, nice. That's cool. Surprised you don't want a new one for the camera capabilities. Your friend does Google. I want to use them. Go on then, Molson. You sort it out. Taking some stuff and shots with it. Yeah, but if I'm doing photos, I do it with my camera. Do you know what I mean? This is the thing about being a photographer, is I seldom ever pick up a camera for fun anymore. Like, I only really pick it up for paid jobs. So I don't really go out, like, to take photos. I'll do time lapses, but I do them on this. I just do them on the iPhone. But yeah, I'm not upgrading the phone just because I'm told that I should. I hate this consumerist bullshit where everything's disposable all the time. Work phone is an XR. Yes, you should, because I'm led to believe that the iOS app is much better than what's happening on what Jacuzzi calls it. When this is all done, I'll come over and run Ethernet cables for you. John Elin, my friend, how are you? Long time no speak. I've still got your Apple TV in a box, all sort of like packaged up to give you back. And I've still never seen you to give it to you. And that Fringe show was 2017. I should drop it off at Donny's, eh? Your price out of DSLRs too costly mainly. Yeah, no, like I say, I don't do video or anything. I always shoot stills, so I'm still using my old 1D Mark II. Wire can go 300 feet without a repeater, so get some wire through the attic. Ugh, it's an effort. Yeah, I could hand it into Donny's if you'll see him, if you'll get a chance to see him. I'll do that. Mind you, I've not seen him either. Obviously, COVID. I think it's faster on the dedicated app as opposed to desktop mode. Yep, I think that the iOS app is a much better experience for people than Android, apparently, allegedly, until they update it. I will, John. How are you doing anyway? I've not spoken to you for ages. Guy from Haps says, there's a guy called Guy. This is really confusing. There's a guy in my chat called Guy who's on the Haps app who has said to you, John Elin, on Facebook, good job. But John can't see Guy's comment because John's commenting from Facebook. So I've got to relay that information to John Elin. So the guy called Guy, who's on the Haps app, says good job. I'm so glad we cleared that up. COVID does suck. It sucks balls big time. I've not seen anyone. I've been keeping myself to myself because I'm a mum. Yep, let's translate it. Because it's easy for the Haps people to forget that we can see everyone's comments, but the other platforms can't see all the other comments. He wasn't typing back. He's not being rude. He just can't see your comments, Guy. You're on the desktop and you can see them both commenting. I think on Scope I couldn't see. Yeah, if you're on Periscope, all you can see is other people on Periscope's comments. If you're on Haps, you can see everyone's comments from all the different platforms. But on the other platforms, you can only see the comments from that platform. If that makes sense. I love this band. I wish they would get more attention. Thanks, Guy. Nice to see you. Thanks for popping in. Have a cracking day. Getting notifications all over the shop here. What is going on? To anybody, it is still Empathy Test. I'm just playing that album right through. The one that I showed you on the vinyl. Does anybody want to pop in and come and say hi? And look after my room for me while I make a cup of tea. Because I want to make a cup of tea, but I don't want to leave an empty chair, because it looks like something that an abandoned mastermind episode. The big black chair. Did you guys have mastermind in the States? Because I made a reference to it earlier today and people didn't know what the hell I was talking about when I said mastermind. Was that UK only? You're still driving. Crikey, how far away is your post office? Do you live out in the arse end of nowhere? I'm only playing with you. Oh, man. My dodgy leg, back, hip situation that's going on. No, not here. Okay, so Mastermind was a program where the host, like the person would have a specialist subject and they would answer questions about that subject. And it was famous. It had a big black leather chair the person would sit in. And it was all dramatic music and a spotlight. And you saw it on BBC America. Oh, so you know what I'm talking about. So you don't have to listen to my crap explanation about what it is. Thank God for that, because that was going to get messy. Super impressed with the in-depth knowledge they had on one subject. So, yeah, I can't remember. I know what it was. It was someone in somebody's broadcast earlier today was talking about Hello Kitty. And I had joked that Hello Kitty would be their specialist subject on Mastermind, and then nobody knew what I was talking about. So my attempt to be witty and, quick and funny fell flat because nobody understood what the hell I was talking about. It's not like me, is it? You could do one on vinyl. You absolutely could do one on vinyl. Can I just say how cool that broadcast was with you and Rev the other night? Was it last night? I lose track of the days. I'm so glad you went in there. It was fun. The replays on YouTube. What was your specialist? I was just about to ask you. What would your specialist subject be? Mine would probably be something obscure like Ultravox. You liked the singing bit. I can't believe you've got Starman on cassette. I've got it on CD, but I can't find the CD. I've got the case, but the CD's missing. So when you said you just picked up the Starman soundtrack on cassette, I was like, oh, we need to listen to that because I love it. It's probably one of my favourite soundtracks of all time. The music's epic. And that was really cool. You said you just found it. I'm sure I've got it here somewhere. I can't really twist. My back's too bloody sore. I'll find it when I'm not so sore. Twisting and bending's not going to be good. Probably a hospital show like ER or Supernatural. Do you like your hospital dramas? I think it's one of the few John Carpenter films where he hasn't done the soundtrack himself. The Legend soundtrack goes for hundreds on eBay, but you have it on cassette. And is it more collectible on vinyl? Cassettes are making a comeback, apparently. I feel like I need to dig out an old Walkman. Like hospital dramas. Okay, cool. You sold your legend when Bowie passed. More collectible on CD. Really? That's interesting. I've got about maybe somewhere in the region of about 1,000 to 1,500 CDs missing. The CDs that are behind me on the racks are about half of what I have, and I don't know where the hell they are. I don't know where they are. I don't know if my ex has them. I don't know if they're in the loft because I can't get up into the loft. There's no dedicated loft ladder, so to get up there you've got to balance on an A-frame ladder, and I'm not doing it. I'm not that desperate to get into the loft. They could be still in my mum's somewhere in one of the walk-in cupboards. Like, I don't know, but I know that I've got about half missing because I know what I should have, and I'll go for looking for an album and I've got a copy of that, or I'll find the disc and I don't have the cover for it, or I've got the cover and I can't find the disc for it. So I know that I'm missing stuff. Labyrinth with Bowie. I bought my half sister the Bowie soundtrack on CD when she was a kid, and I've got it on DVD. Bowie with his grey leggings. I'll say no more. Twiddling his balls. Do you remember Bowie twiddling his balls? Labyrinth is with Bowie. Legend was Tom Cruise movie. Is Your Love Strong Enough? Brian Ferry. Oh, okay. Who said Labyrinth? Easy to mix them up. Sorry, I'm just reading the comments out. But does anybody remember Bowie playing with his balls? I'm sitting laughing at my own jokes. Pathetic. He did, Professor. Bowie was playing with his balls. Do I need to prove it? Do I need to find a clip and show you? Because I can do that. By the power of haps, I can do it. I got the power. Love moon. This will slow everything down though, unfortunately. Oh, be shushed. Bloody adverts. Delay test 2. It's a rare version of the Diamond Dogs LP where he shows his balls on the cover. Dirty devil. What kind of balls? Tennis balls? Basketballs? Yeah, I'm going to halt empathy test just for a moment, and then I'm going to get all technical wizardy-ish in theory. How do we do this again? Oh yeah, I've just remembered.
What is it? It's a crystal. Nothing more.
What's the echo?
But if you turn it this way, look into it. It'll show you your dreams. But this is not a gift for an ordinary girl. It takes care of a screaming baby. Do you want it? Then forget the baby.
I can't. It's that I don't appreciate what you're trying to do for me. But I want my brother back. He must be so scared.
Sarah.
That's not actually the bit I was thinking of. There's a bit where he's sitting twiddling with his balls. That's the bit I want to find. World, you precious thing, you starving near exhaust me. Everything I've done for you. I move the stars for no one. It's too deep. I can't do it. We've come so hard, we've come so far. Your eyes can be so cruel, just as I could be so cruel. Anyway, whatever. I can't find the juggly ball bit. Never mind. I'm not going to troll through YouTube trying to find it. You get the gist. He had some crystal balls and he was juggling them. It sounds just like him. I wish. You haven't heard my Tina Turner impression or my share. I'm knocking the mic here. What's going on? Professionalism, Helen. Jeez, oh. Right. I think we'll have some... Shall we do Vandal Moon? I think we'll do Vandal Moon. This is the other album that I showed you on the vinyl earlier. There we go. Molson's heard my Tina impression. He won't tell you if he was impressed or not. He's keeping that to himself. It's horrendous. Does anybody want to come in and look after my room while I make tea? What a set of legs that woman's got, eh? Tina Turner. Right. After we've listened to Vandal Moon, I'm going to play a little treat of Tina Turner and David Bowie together. You don't want to come in and look after my room, Christina? Does that mean I've got to leave everybody sitting looking at a big chair? Some observations here. I have you on an Android and iPhone. Ooh! Let's be having it then, Molson. Give us your feedback. We'll pass it on to the Haps boys. Android gets what's being said almost 20 seconds later than iPhone. Wow. So don't play any music quizzes if you're on an Android. It's really weird I see the comments on both at the same time. That's interesting. I know what I'll do. While I make tea, I'll prop that up in the background. Will that be seen? Like that. And then everybody's going to know what we're listening to. Genius. Hence the reason not on Gym Squat. Gym Squat I saw answers first. Yes. Yep. I've had that as well though, Molson, but I've had it when I'm usually watching from a desktop. So I wonder if desktop and Android see the same things at the same time. And it's just Apple that's ahead. Maybe. Right, I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to make a quick cup of cha. Enjoy Vandal Moon. Stick around if you want to. It'd be lovely if you stick around. If you have to go elsewhere, I understand. I'll be back ASAP. What are you after? I thought you already got fed. Shift your bum. Oh, hello. Hello. Hello, people. Oh, okay. It was weird. The screen went black with a spinning wheel. It's because I'm using my iPhone as a webcam and it's just disconnected from the Wi-Fi for a second. I came back, I'm out of sync. Am I out of sync? Welcome, Lucia. How are you doing? You weren't so comfortable in your chair, you've got a drink. Now that you've managed to tackle the lazy boy, you don't want to adjust yourself again. I've got munchies. trying to get myself comfortable. Are we back in sync now? Ow, what is going on with this? Oh, it's on the little thingy doodah. It's on the little thingy doodah. The doodary doodahs. Left came back, seems good. Excellent. You'll have to forgive the munchy crunching. Try not to munchy crunch too much in the microphone. I would mute it, but then you'll hear no music. Hang on. I want to try something. If I share this, hello, by the way. I want. This is a test, right? Oh well then. So much for that theory. Can you hear me now? Thanks, Lucia. I was testing something out. I wanted to see if presenting the Spotify would enable you to listen to the music without my mic. Can I speak to you in sign language? In sign language? No, I can't. Yeah, thank you. I had hoped that if I presented the Spotify as a screen that you'd hear it. Evidently not. So I must bear that in mind. The only other thing I can do is connect up my mixing desk to iPod or phone and play it through the desk, and then that way it wouldn't be reliant on the mic picking it up. Anyway, because what I wanted to do is I wanted you guys to hear the music whilst I'm munchy crunchy some crisps. But you're going to have to tolerate both things. What did you catch when you came in? Hi, Lindsay. I was testing whether or not you can share music through presenting Spotify as a window, but evidently not. I'm trying to not crunch down the mic. It's like when you say something to someone and they say, what? And you say it again and they don't hear you and they say, what? And then you say, can you hear me now? And you say it like that, and you think like that, and suddenly they can hear you. Like, do you want a cup of tea? What? Do you want a cup of tea? What? Do you want a cup of tea? They understand you. All right, Molson. Have an absolutely fantastic day, and I'll catch you when I see you. I say day. I'm presuming it's into the evening now. Have a good night, I should say. Well, hello. Sorry, I know this is content. A fat lass eating on the internet, but you know, you take what you're given. Nom 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 nom. Just dust myself down. You know, it's like the little shelf catches everything. So, bring me up to speed on the goss. What's been happening? What have I missed? Not really. I'm still in quite a lot of pain with my back, so I'm kind of limited to what I can do. I've been really unproductive today. The show was a pre-record, but what tends to happen is people start to interact when it's live, which is why I sort of dipped out so that I can sort of engage with people while they're messaging me or whatever. You missed absolutely nothing. You missed me eating some crisps, or chips, as you might call them. I hate this pop filter. I want a new one. It's a bedoing. You missed nout. Zilch. Zero. What have you been up to? Where have you been, Professor? What did you do? Where did you go? Did you get any goodies? Did you get any bargains? I feel like I've not really been on Haps quite so much today. So I'm asking what's been happening. You guys need to bring me up to speed. What have I missed out on that I should go back and check out? iOS update for... Yeah. I thought that was out yesterday or the day before. I keep losing track of the days. We were just actually experimenting with that. Molson that was in earlier was watching it on two different devices. He was watching it on an Android and on an Apple. And he was saying that the Android's about 20 seconds behind the Apple, but the comments are the same. So the comments are coming through at the same time, but the actual like video and audio is 20 seconds behind the Apple. That's interesting. You're talking to Tam. You're talking to Tam in chat. In chat? Is Tam live? I'm confused. Did Tam go live? I'm so confused. I'm so confused. And it's easily done these days. My brain's mush most of the time. Mushy mush mush. This is still Vandal Moon that we're listening to. Do you think it'll be a week? I think it'll take longer than that, Lindsay. But I keep reminding people that we had all this on Periscope as well. Like, it frustrates me when people bang on about how brilliant Periscope is and completely forgot how crap it was for the first couple of years while they sorted their stuff. Got you, okay. It took Periscope ages to... I mean, and it's still glitchy sometimes. I wish the Periscope people didn't have rose-tinted glasses over Periscope. I remember when the call-in first came out, you could only have one person in your call-in at a time because if you invited any more than that in, it completely killed your broadcast. Yeah, I wasn't in their Q&A. Well, I kind of dipped in and out the Q&A, but they went live when my radio was live, so... Yeah, they do have a little bit of Joy Division. I'm sorry about the warbly sound, Christina. It's because I'm talking over the mic at the same time. I hear The Cure. I think he sounds like Phil Oakey from Human League. But I hear lots of influences. Remember Periscope wasn't even available for Android to start with. I can't remember how long it took them. I think it was like months. Excellent. And let me know if you get a chance, if and when you get a chance to listen to it, let me know what you thought. I just wish these guys, like, the stuff that's coming out now is getting they're not getting any airplay apart from on, like, community radio stations. They're not getting seen, you know, and they deserve a wider audience. Hi, CS, how you doing? Yeah, I understand. I get ya. Me get ya. I think these guys are great. I think Empathy Test are great. I think Cult with No Name are good. New Spell. Antipole. The stuff that I play in my shows, it's easy enough to go back and look at my set lists, my playlist, my track listings. You're chilling like a futon, or on a futon. How do you chill like a futon? I want to know what that is. I don't know what the highlight of the broadcast so far has been. Possibly the David Bowie impression. So I'll have to go back and check that out. Does anybody want to come in and talk to me? You don't have to, but you're all more than welcome. I've made it over 250, so nobody will say, oh, she only invited people in to get our numbers up, because I've managed to do that anyway, so you're all welcome. Itchy nose. I think I've got like a little hair that keeps tickling the end of it. Our pain is real. Someone said to me the other day in someone's broadcast, how do I get one of your cups or your bra on your head? And I was like, ooh, here's the link and there's a 20% off code if you want one. Just honoured that somebody would even consider buying one, to be honest. Food? What kind of food? Don't talk to a fat lass about food and only give her half the story. He had an MRI last night and was so worried about my hair tickling my face the whole time. That would be the time you would get an itchy face, right? Or an itchy eye or an itchy nose. Definitely. How did you find that? Did it go okay? Any show ideas? Tacos. Nom 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 nom. I don't know what that voice was. Nom 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 nom. Maybe that was the voice of your creature with the dodgy toes. Any show ideas? Show ideas. In terms of what, Professor? Do you mean on perhaps? Do you mean on the radio? What do you mean? Explain yourself. Explain yourself. I'm sorry to hear that, Christina. That's crap. I really hope you don't have to go back and do it again. Did you feel claustrophobic or did you find it okay? Oh, thanks, yes. Much appreciated. Boff, right back at you. Oh no, we have to go boff. It's a special. Hi, Michelle. I am so sorry. I completely forgot that you said you were doing your thing on Thursday instead of Tuesday. And I went live, and then I got a notification you went live, and I was like, oh, shit. But I'm not going to get a chance to do this again over the weekend. Yeah, I hope they don't have to repeat it. That would be a nightmare. Both. Well, I do. There's a couple of things I want to do. When you get a chance, you should come in and talk to me and I'll tell you all about them. CS is making tacos, but he won't be sharing them because he's too far away and it's not fair because I'm feeling hungry. Luckily for me, they put you in a backwards. Oh. Okay. That doesn't sound so bad. Touch wood, God forbid, I haven't had to have one. But the thought of it kind of, you know, I'm not good in enclosed spaces. Sorry, Michelle. I felt really bad. And then I was saying to folk, like, Michelle's went live. You know, like, shall we go over and... But I kind of wanted to get my 250 so that I don't have to do... Because I'm not going to get a chance before the weekend. Steak and hash. Stop talking about food, you bunch of gits. I feel hungry. Hi, Steve. Welcome. You can't move. And if you had an itchy nose, you'd be screwed. I feel like I want food now. I've just ate rubbish. I just had a packet of crisps. I had a chocolate biscuit, but I haven't actually had any dinner. And it's almost 3 a.m. Oh well. Steak and hash, eh? How'd you like your steak? I want to see how many tracks has got left. Don't be daft. I'd completely forgotten because I had known that last time I went live on the Thursday, Jim had his thing at the night time. And that's what I had in my mind. I had in my mind, get on and get off before Jim's chat show thing. I had completely forgotten that you were moving your Tuesday to your Thursday. So I'm a dick. I'm sorry. I completely forgot till I saw the notification. I was like, oh, fuck it. Anyway, what's happened to my screen? It's doing something and it's doing its own thing. What's going on there? Medium rare and cooked by someone else. I like mine well done. I like it cooked all the way through. And I know that I'm a heathen, and I know that people say, well, that's not how you're supposed to have steak, but I don't care. I like it cooked all the way through. You're not a daft git. What are you saying that for? How's your internet? I know you were having issues with electricity or something earlier in the week. Has that resolved itself? This is get your lighters out moment. Bob likes his well done as well. Good man. Now I don't feel so uncultured. Oh, was it? Do you think that's your end or do you think that's Haps? I was in Chris's scope earlier and he had an issue where if you clicked on any comments, it killed his broadcast completely, just clicking on someone's comment. And then I heard someone else say the same thing somewhere else. So that must be a thing at the moment. I hope that goes good, Christina. I hope there's something they can do that's not too invasive. Professor is driving, I think, Michelle. He's around, but he's, you know, driving. I'd rather he wasn't typing if he's driving. But you're all welcome to pop up if you want. We're listening to this at the moment, Michelle. Yeah, did you figure out what that was yet? Did you ask them on the Q&A? We're listening to this. We're listening to it on Spotify, of course, but this is the album we're listening to. By Vandal Moon. What kind of phone are you on, Michelle? Are you on iPhone? Yeah, you're best to not to, though, until you know exactly what's going on, because you don't want to make it any worse. I know what it feels like, though. Like, I'm not a big exerciser, but I do like to walk. And I was going to say last year, it wasn't last year, 2019, I was doing Krav Maga. I'd got into that and injured myself. And that was the first time I'd had sciatica, and then I never went back to a class after I had that. And I kind of missed that. Like, I'd like to have gone back into that. I can't now because COVID. But when you're not able to do something, you want to do it more. Try again tomorrow on the same. Yes, good idea. Your iPhone 11. Yeah, because Molson was in. I don't know if you know Molson. Molson used to be in Periscope. And Molson was watching on an iPhone and an Android, and said that one's 20 seconds behind the other. So the iPhone's 20 seconds ahead of the Android, but the comments are exactly the same, which is confusing as hell, but really interesting. You get a shot soon you go out to work in the arena. Are they opening it up again for events? Can still do stuff, thank goodness. I'm really interested in it. You can still lift weights and do floor exercises. If you're still able to do weights, that's really good, because obviously that'll keep your strength up. Nightmare. I forgot to shut off my iClouds. I may have slowed things down. I did that one day on here. I was broadcasting and I'd left Audacity running, and it just killed the CPU. %. So were they doing socially distanced events? What is it they're intending on opening it for? He sent her a private message and I wasn't in his broadcast. That is weird. The penny hadn't dropped that you weren't in his broadcast. I was thinking you were in his broadcast at the time. So did you get that message after the broadcast? Do you like this? This is Vandal Moon. I forget exactly where they're from. They're from California somewhere, but I think it's Santa Cruz. Is it Santa Cruz? Is that in California? I think it is. The penny's just clicked. That's where they're from. Oh, Professor. It's making me cringe. And of course, the answer to everything, and I know I'm exactly the same with the sciatica. They're referring me to the spinal physios. I'm waiting for that, obviously, referral to come through. But I know the first thing they're going to say to me is lose weight, because it's their answer for everything. And I get it. You're putting more pressure on everything if you're carrying extra weight. But we already fucking know that. Like, we don't need to be reminded of it. It doesn't have to be the first. I'm bracing myself for the conversation. Do you know what I mean? I have put weight on since I came back from Australia. I've put weight on since COVID. I know that I have. So, like a guy called Soft Moon. Soft Moon. That rings a bell. I wasn't saying you should slim down, but what I'm saying to you is if you speak to anybody in the medical profession, it's the first thing they're going to say to you. And even if you're not overweight, they say it as well. It's worse than water on the knee. This is all making me cringe. And I'm sitting here waiting for this cocodamol to kick in. Feeling sorry for myself. I'm going to delete this off my music YouTube, my music Facebook. Your tubby aff. Tubby. You're cuddly. We're all cuddly. I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to put a different band on because we've heard a whole album. So we've heard the whole Empathy Test album. We've heard the whole Vandal Moon album. I'm going to put on some Cult with No Name. Cult with No Name. Injury doesn't bother me at the time because what are any symptoms of something? Arthritis. I know exactly what I did when this sciatica kicked off. I bent down for a parcel and I bent down the wrong way. And then I knew instantly I had done something, and it's pathetic. Like imagine hurting yourself to the point where you're struggling to move or drive or anything for a fortnight by bending down the wrong way to pick up a bloody parcel, and it wasn't even anything heavy. I'm a dickhead. I'm annoyed at myself. Anywho's. You passed cuddly last year. Shut up. Back into spasms for days when you washed your hair. Oh no. I've always had issues with my back because I'm hypermobile. So my ligaments are really weak. But this is totally different. The sciatica thing's totally different. The pain isn't the same. It's not even anywhere near the same place. This thing, it runs down my whole leg. And I'll be sitting trying to get comfortable, and then suddenly it'll feel like there's something walking up my leg, something walking up my shin. Like, because the nerves are all buggered. This is such a cheerful conversation, isn't it? Come into Helen's broadcast and leave it thoroughly depressed. Come in all happy and go lucky and then leave thoroughly miserable. I'll tell you what though, I think amitriptyline is absolutely rubbish. It hasn't made any difference to me at all. Not impressed. It's supposed to make you super sleepy as well. And you take 2 or 3 before bed, and I'm still not sleeping. I'm still wide awake. Anywho, shall we change the subject? Because I feel like I'm bringing the mood down. Michelle, how was your broadcast? Was it all right? You're home, yay! At the moment, I haven't been sleeping. I had the longest sleep I've had for a long time the night before last. Prior to that, I had gone for about a fortnight with about 4 hours sleep over the course of the fortnight. The night before last, I got about 3 hours sleep, but it wasn't 3 together. It was like 90 minutes here and 10 minutes there. It was like a series of naps, you know. Night night, Michelle. Thank you for popping in, and I'll catch you later. I'm so sorry that we broadcast at the same time. I'll go back and watch a replay later. You can type faster. Yeah. Touch wood without risking crashing into anything. Enjoy dinner. That sounds so good, doesn't it? Steak. Well, with this situation, I just cannot get comfortable enough to fall asleep. I'll be lying trying to get my leg comfy. I cannot sleep because I'm in too much pain. Prior to being sore, I would survive on maybe 4 hours a night, and that's fine. I can survive on that, but I've not been getting that. I've been barely getting any at all. It's quite frustrating because even though I function on 4 hours, I kind of need that 4 hours, you know. Steak, tacos. I know all these gits that are eaten. I could make toast. I don't really want to eat toast. Chicago dogs. What are Chicago dogs? What is that? Educate me. Do you know what? I'm too sore to be comfortable enough to stretch anything out. I know that sounds nuts, but I just can't. This is a lot worse than it was the first time I had it. Like I cannot. I can't even lie down comfortable enough to nod off. But they are referring me to the physio, so hopefully. A special type of hot dog prep. I want to know what's Chicago. That's the painkiller kicking in, by the way. I'm starting to get fuzzy. What's a Chicago dog? Mustard, onion, short peppers, neon relish on a poppy bun. Ooh. Mustard and neon relish. And onion. Do you know what? Your breath's going to be amazing. I hope you're going to brush your teeth before you kiss Tam Tam. Pickles as well. Pickles and relish and onions and mustard. Sexy. Psychotherapist run you through those stretches. They do help when the mind starts aggravating the stretches in. Yeah, there are certain painkillers I can't take. Obviously, without going into detail on the internet and telling people, you know, what I'm allergic to, there are certain things I can't take. So they've given me cocodamol and amitriptyline because it's supposed to be for nerve pain, but I just think it's crap. It's really not helping me at all. Wonder why the neon relish always thinks that looks weird. I think these are things that we don't have here. Just heights down our sweats when you said that. Yeah, it sounds like sexy food. Oh, it's funny. It's Thank you, David, for the Stay Safe Award. I always feel like I should have a little mask to put over my face when I get one of those. There was something I was going to say and I've completely forgotten what it was. Do you know, I hate when that happens. Silly sausage. You can talk if you want her to come up. Hang on a wee second. Let me rectify that. Hi, Finbar. How you doing? How did I do this again? I've forgotten what I'm doing. There we go. Does anybody else want to come up? You're more than welcome. How's your day going, Finbar? How's the new one? Finbar's just had a new baby. How's fatherhood treating you? Add blue dye to regular relish. Blue dye. That sounds rank. That sounds disgusting.
Want to hear what you said?
What did I miss there?
A conversation we had that may have leaked into the room before we went on.
We're like, oops.
We didn't hear you. I was saying that,
okay.
blue dye on the relish sounds disgusting. I was saying that sounds rank.
Oh my gosh. I had tears in my eyes.
Oh man. Some of the bad effects of gaining the extra weight, and we're talking about drinking more water, and we just ordered Girl Scout cookies, and it just it's a terrible thing to support the youngins, and at the same time, listening to those calories count up.
You'll have to force yourself to eat them. Force yourself.
Yes.
It's such a trial and such a struggle.
Mm-hmm. But we're up to it, I think.
But somebody's got to do it. Obviously.
Somebody's got to do it.
May as well be you.
Yes, the things we do for the youth of America.
Absolutely. So how's it going? How's your day been?
Well, how's the day been today, babies?
It's been okay.
It's been okay. I mean, we didn't do too good today in the bins. Found a few things. I mean, I found a couple of TV series, news radio. I've been looking for that one with Phil Hartman and Andy Dick and stuff like that. We just picked up a couple at the Goodwill. They're in the bathroom there. So picked up another music one for the collection. DVD was the the 4.
I surprised you with that one.
Oh yeah, Tammy surprised me with that one. So let's see the kind of garbage we go through here.
Let us see.
Okay. We got the Stolen from Rockin' Bob. Don't you love it when people deface objects that you are going to get there? And this is the 4 flicks from the Rolling Stones there collection. Yeah, so gotta fill up on that.
What is that? Is that VHS? What is that?
Oh no, this is a DVD collection full
DVDs.
of
Oh, cool.
A bunch of 4 different shows.
Nice.
And of course, the dork had to write on them too, the discs themselves.
Oh, for God's sake!
Then I have to catch up with Archer. Everybody's telling me to watch this show, so I just went and got it. Okay, There we go.
I say
hi, Andy.
Got some old Dark Shadows.
Dark Shadows. Oh, someone was playing that the other day on the broadcast.
Not
one of my dad's favorite.
You know the guy
one of her dad's favorite.
You know the guy who makes the models?
Yes. Was that Chris?
And he'd
Yes.
printed, and this was so cool. He printed what looked like an antique TV, like 3D printed it for his mobile phone to sit in. So
Right.
it was a phone holder that looked like an old-fashioned telly, right? An old-fashioned TV. And that's what he was playing. He was playing Dark Shadows. I knew that looked familiar. I was like, I've just seen that. And that's what it was. It was on his broadcast. It was really, really cool. Sorry.
Yeah, that Tammy bought that because it reminds her of her dad there. Then, of course, we had to get the obligatory Cheech and Chong Still Smoking, the sequel to Up in Smoke.
I have no idea
and
what that
mind
is.
you, and a movie neither one of us ever heard of, Moonwalkers, featuring
that rings a bell. Who's in it? Rupert Grint.
Ron Perlman and Rupert. Yeah.
So Ron Weasley.
Yeah. Okay.
Based on true story or true something.
Yeah, based on, let's see. After failing to locate the legendary Stanley Kubrick, an unstable CIA agent must instead team up with a seedy rock band manager to develop the biggest con of all time, staging the moon landing. Oh my. And one that Tam got, she has Pocahontas and Pocahontas 2.
Disney's Pocahontas.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, cool.
Disney's Pocahontas, yeah.
Nice.
So that's today's.
Very nice. That seems like a decent haul. That's not bad. Not bad at all.
Whew. Well, then we bought a bunch from the actual Goodwill clearance area that are still in the car and we're too lazy to go retrieve. These just came on the trip. So tomorrow, Tammy and her sister are going to attempt to relocate all the goodies out of our small garage and it's going to be like a 3-way move where her crafting is going to go into the single car garage, and the movie collection, the huge bunch of movies, are going to go into the main garage. And I guess I get to sit back and watch this whole thing unfold because I was told to, quote, stay the hell out of the way.
Really?
Unquote.
It's like that, is it?
Yeah.
You've got your orders.
Yeah. Yes. Don't muck it up. Yes.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Just put it this way, it means if anything goes awry, you can't be blamed for it. So look at it that way.
Oh no, I mean it's a blessing and a curse because there's times where I want to go in and rearrange things because on the one side of the garage is the record collections, all my duplicates, triplicates, and things I don't quite listen to very often. And we were selling a good chunk of those and we were doing pretty well. Then I had to put the kibosh on it because Christmas came and went. And you had to bring all the Christmas decorations back into the garage and cover up all the records and put the lids back on the tubs and blah, blah, blah. And
yeah.
So now we're moving stuff along. So it's definitely a constant struggle to get rid of stuff because it seems more is coming in than leaving, which is nuts.
Yeah. And how do you feel about that? Do you feel like forget what anybody else thinks. Are you guys happy with that situation, or do you feel like you need to knuckle down and get rid of some stuff? Like, how are you feeling about that? Like, are you happy to keep building the collection up, or?
Well, it's kind of the best of both worlds. We're going to pretty much sell off the chaff there. I mean, you buy things, and there's often stuff that people are looking for. Then we always kind of look out for them, and at the same time, there's movies and TV shows I've been recommended. Oh boy, do I look blotchy on this thing.
You do look a little bit pixelated, but I noticed that on Revs the other night as well. You were looking a little bit pixelated.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, this one, this is a 720 in front of me, and that's the 1080 over there. So,
well, why don't I grab that one and bring it?
Why don't you switch them out? Well, that one's screwed down, so you have to unscrew that.
So it does look like
okay, guys.
I want to answer Helen's question. Actually, it's not so much all of the stuff; it's the disorganization that drives us nuts, or me nuts. I would say that's more of it. I don't mind having all this stuff, just having it all over the place.
She said, Christy said it was the new Minecraft filter.
But it looks like
Okay,
it's
I'm
the camera
undoing
then rather than your Wi-Fi.
Why don't I just lift it up and
You can lift it up. Yeah. Well, if you think you can, it's plugged into the computer. Okay, guys, you're getting the whole view of the messy room and the whole.
We're going for a wee. We're going for
Okay, switch the cameras. Okay, we will.
If I can move to the same way that the camera's moving, it'll look like you're actually making me move. Like, don't drop me.
Is it on this camera still?
No, it
Oh,
was.
it's like,
Yeah, Tammy was making faces in the camera there.
can you unplug it or
Can I
no?
unplug it?
Okay, hold on. It's
Yeah.
this thing's in the
Yeah,
way.
get this thing out of the way. We don't need this anymore.
I
That
can't
was.
lift that up. That's the problem.
In some cases,
Let's see,
Brenda,
you
but
can
that's
kick
not
it
always the case.
There we go. Go
We
under.
wanted to work. You can't do that.
Oh, I can't do that. You hear that? I can't do it. See, this is why I stay out of the way, because every time I recommend something, don't do that.
No,
You can't do that.
I just said I can't do that.
Yeah. Okay.
But I can unplug it and look
Unplugged. All right. So we're unplugged, and we're moving. Yeah. So many cameras, so little time.
done,
Got 3 of the little
Tam.
guys.
Thanks for coming and investigating
Things that
the
happen
situation, Tam.
Yes, that's Tam is very good about straightening things about around here, because I'm a bit of a messy Marvin, I must say.
That has made a huge difference.
It's organized.
To your picture quality. That's a huge difference.
Plug this one in, babe.
Plug that one in. Okay,
I can't
so
see where it goes.
let's see. Well, maybe it was asking for too much there.
Dun, dun, dun. I had assumed that if it was it looked to me like it was a connection issue. So that's good if it's the camera and it can be switched out. That's good. That's good. Special effects, indeed. Minecraft filter. Oh, excuse me. Starting to get tired. Not surprising considering I've not been sleeping. I need to try to get some sleep tonight, guys. It's just getting crazy. I was sitting watching, was it Jim's broadcast last night? And I said, I'll take the phone to bed, and if I go quiet, it's because I've nodded off. Did I nod off? Nope. I sat and watched the whole broadcast until he ended up ending it, and I was still wide awake afterwards. I've not been sleeping, Finbar. I'm in too much pain. I've got sciatica, and I can't get comfortable. I'm sitting here on this chair, and I'm not too bad. I'm able to move, and I'm making a point of constantly moving so that I don't seize up. As soon as I try to lie down, I cannot get comfortable, and I almost hit the roof in the pain. Every single time I'm moving or adjusting myself or trying to get comfortable, I cannot get comfortable long enough to nod off to sleep, and that's been like that for over a fortnight now. I'm really struggling. I mean, I'm a night owl and I don't get much sleep anyway, but I do normally get some sleep. This is just ridiculous. He turned off his computer. He's coming back. It's all good. There he is.
Okay, well, now you can see it's a lot more panoramic view on this one here.
Ta-da.
Yeah,
I think, do you know what? I think we should call him Dotty. I think that's a really good nickname.
I know. I said sorry, and it came out Dotty.
Dotty.
Right, you're here by now going on my broadcast as Dotty. All right,
No.
that's a thing.
Okay. Oh, looks like you said it sounds awful, so let me go ahead and switch back over the sound.
No. He's saying that the conversation we were talking about the sciatica sounds awful, not that your camera sounds awful.
Ah, okay. There we go. Do I sound better?
Fine. You sound absolutely fine. He wasn't talking about that. He was talking because the comments are delayed.
Yeah.
We were talking about me not sleeping, and I think
Ooh,
that's
not good.
Is this you doing the robot? What's this?
Yes, that's the robot. You know, being that we're in the digital realm here, so we gotta.
Can't sleep.
Ah, boy.
On 8.
So,
Okay, Christina, I'll keep an eye open for you.
oh, let's see. I'm on 8. Okay, there you go. Make sure you tune into Christina's trivia, where she scores the best of all the trivia people because speed as well as accuracy works over there, where most other quiz hosts just pretty much say the first one gets the answer, which to me, it's kind of because as we were talking about earlier, some people clock in sooner than others, and they kind of put some people at a disadvantage. And it's not doesn't mean you're as smart as they are, but it just means that they can type faster or just I don't know. I just I just like Christina's scoring methods better than everybody else's. How about that?
Yeah. Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Makes
Absolutely
sense.
awesome.
We were having a conversation earlier about the delay, and I don't know if you heard that because obviously you were driving, but there was a conversation about how on the phone, like on the desktop, everything seems much slower. There's like a delay. So when I was in some broadcasts, I was seeing the replies, I was seeing the comments before I was even hearing the question or hearing the song. Like I'd be sitting here taking part in something, and people would be answering already before I'd even heard the song.
Right.
But it's something to do with what Molson was talking about earlier, where the iPhone is 20 seconds faster than the Android, and the desktop and the Android must be the same. So unless you're on an iPhone, you're not going to be quicker than other people on an iPhone because by its very nature, it's running 20 seconds behind,
right?
In terms of devices. Oh, thanks, Tam Tam. Thank you. Buy me a coffee. Oh, yeah. I'm always gasping for coffee. That's the perfect one. That's the perfect award.
Oh yeah. Well,
have her read what I said right afterwards.
Should be tea, not coffee.
I drink tons of coffee, but it's just I try to not to at 3:00 in the morning.
Yeah, we have a vintage crazy mug collection there that we'll show off. I used to try to do one per broadcast where I'd bring in and drink out of it and just what's your favorite mug? The shut the fuck up one? Yeah. Yeah, it's SU. Okay. Yeah. She'll go get it there. She'll bring a couple of the better examples of the mugs we have here. That that San Francisco one's kind of cool too. But which one? San Francisco, like straight ahead there. Yeah. My butt's hitting your butt's hitting everything. There you go. Keeping Helen awake there. Okay, there we go.
I'm sorry. Listen, if I start to yawn, please don't take that personally. I haven't slept.
Never do. Hey. So most of the women. Yeah, most of the women in my life yawn, so I'm used to it.
Stop it. Nonsense.
Well, what are you gonna do? It's an acquired thing there,
Finbar has a collection of random electronic cables, and do you know what? So do I. There's always a box of cables, different cables that aren't even for things that aren't even like technology anymore.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I have so many old and new computers around. Like this thing, I'm thinking it's Apple related. You know what kind of N that is?
That looks like a USB-C.
Well, whatever it is, it goes into a HDMI, and this was just sitting in one of the crates there, and one of the boxes, and I grabbed it. So I'm like, well, someday I'll need this, I'm sure. But
absolutely, yep.
All right, well, let's see. She's going to hand me the first one here, which is the one I mentioned. It's the...
Shut the fuck up. Love it.
And this is what you say about me.
Blah, blah, blah. These are cool.
That one's kind of smaller reading.
That one there I got to zoom up on. Let's see. Yeah, well, see, I'm getting pixelated. There we go.
Almost. Now you...
There's a glare. So now you may speak.
Okay, so as the further you go down, the more that you drink. I have to go poop now. That's funny. So it's like,
And this one will get us.
We got this at Goodwill too, by the way.
And this one will get us booted off the air real quick. It's a booby cup.
What does it say underneath them though? I can't read it. You have to read it out.
You get to get up close. It's in different languages.
Oh, okay. Okay, got ya.
And we got that at Goodwill.
Of all places.
Of all
As you
places.
do. It's amazing.
One of many.
We had people buying records, and it was so cold in the morning. And so I brought coffee out to them, and I said, well, I have this cup. And the one younger guy's like 20-something. I'll take that one. I said,
Of course you will. Oh, my
I'm
goodness.
digging the Tears for Fears t-shirt, by the way.
Oh, what was that? This?
I said, I'm digging the Tears for Fears t-shirt. She's wearing Tears for Fears.
Oh, her Tears for Fear t-shirt. Yeah, that was a great show.
Oh, my gosh, it was awesome. Tears for Fears and Hall & Oates.
Yeah.
Good concert.
Yeah, she collects concert shirts, so we have a whole closet full of those darn things, too.
Yeah.
So many.
I don't pay $50 for them, that's for sure.
Like, the thing is with clothing, you have to wear it because they just rot if you don't, if you leave them.
Our rule is for every $1 you pay, you have to use it or wear it once.
Yeah.
Yep.
For every $1.
So if you spend $1 on a record, you got to play it once. You spend $30 on a record, you got to play it 30 times.
Yeah.
So it's the $1 per use rule. So
like
just
that
keep
rule.
that in mind. Yeah, it keeps you from buying a lot of crap, or sometimes
that
it
rule.
gets you from buying too much crap. Like these DVDs here, they're
I think the thing as well
$1.29.
is that like, these things. I think the thing as well that you're collecting things that are designed to give pleasure, for enjoyment. There's no point in just collecting something for the sake of collecting it. You collect it to get enjoyment out of it. If you're not going to play it or you're not going to wear it, like where's the point?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know how some people get things like they collect things just they'll collect art just for the sake of selling it at a later date as an investment. Like that's not what you're collecting. You're collecting things that are is tangible, but to get a use to get pleasure out of it. Do you understand? I'm not explaining myself very well, but you know what I mean?
No, it's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's what they always tell you. If you're collecting anything, if the bottom of the market falls out, you're stuck with something you're going to be left the rest of your life to enjoy.
Yeah.
If not, then you're going to be surrounded by a bunch of crap that you have no business with there. So
Exactly. I've never understood people who collect things just for monetary value, as an investment. I've never understood that. Like, it makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
Like Buddha statues.
Yeah, her brother-in-law is
My brother-in-law's a collector, but he...
face the other way.
Oh, which way? This way? Or...
Yeah,
No, towards you.
towards me.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. There we go.
Peekaboo.
There I am. My
There she
brother-in-law, he does, well, he was a skateboarder back as a teenager in the 80s. So now he collects skateboards, decks, and doesn't have the Trex or the wheels on it or anything like that. But he's collected so many over the years that when he had money, and now he's selling them off, his not so favorite ones and that, and he's able to not work, not get unemployment, and just support himself for
That's cool.
8 months now.
You can make it from it. That's cool.
Yeah. So he's making an income off of that. He was always good at that. He'd buy a whole bunch of something, collect it, enjoy it. I mean, he literally enjoys it. And then he just, okay, I'm done. Move on to the next thing, sort of thing. So, yeah. But anyhow, thought I'd throw that in there.
Yeah, why not? We're having that conversation. So, yeah, it's in the photo things and everything else. So,
Things that I collected. I used to collect magazines. I've got so many Q magazines, but I don't have them here. They're still at my mum's. Like, she's got like sort of storage, big walk-in storage cupboard. So all my Q magazines from when I was a teenager, from the mid-90s, but there's literally hundreds of them.
yeah, I was gonna say Q and Mojo. Send them over. 'Cause
I must dig them out and put them on. I was going to say put them on scope. Put them on broadcast one day and show folk. But yeah.
Oh boy, yeah.
Back in the day,
Let's go.
Q magazine was great.
Yeah. Whatever happened to rock journalism? It's Is there nothing to write about anymore? Is that
That's
more
all
of the
on the
problem?
internet.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly. Plus, everybody, the internet, again, everybody wants to be a blogger or whatever. The sort of mainstream press, printed press doesn't really, people aren't, they're not selling they're not selling newspapers anymore, let alone magazines, And it was quite
Yeah.
expensive. A fiver a go, or £5, I don't know what that is, maybe $6, $7 or whatever, for a
Yes.
magazine. It becomes quite expensive when you can look up the same information online. And it's not the same thing as picking up something and reading it and it's something tangible, but not everybody thinks like us,
Right.
So I guess they're not selling enough of them to justify, keeping them in print.
Yeah.
So
I run into that problem to where finding the right magazines to read. I mean, I've tried some of the other music magazines like Stereo Gum and those guys. I just kind of got left cold by their. I don't know. It just didn't speak to me like the early days of Rolling Stone, but the Dave Marsh years and before. But yeah, I gotta keep reminding myself I'm a good 10, 15 years older than most of the folks on here. So, what I like and what appeals to me is probably not applicable to everybody else. So,
even when you
exactly.
hear stories about, the bands that I particularly enjoy having a really hard time from the music press, the NME, if you weren't part of a select kind of music, they weren't interested in what you were producing. So all that sort of late 70s, early 80s new romantic stuff, they slated Adam and the Ants constantly. They slated, Visage. They slated anything that came from the Blitz Club because it
Yeah.
wasn't the Smiths or whatever. They got a really hard time from the music journalists. I mean, you hear the
Yeah.
stories now and you think, God, that was back then, and look at what we get now in the charts. Like, look at what's around now.
Yeah.
And these people were geniuses,
Like I was saying to Rev last night, that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is going to start getting kind of empty. The lack of nominees there, because I will argue to my last breath that the '90s pretty much was the absolute of music there. I mean, you start thinking about the top. I was reading through the top acts from the '90s here in the States, at least, and it was terrible.
I
It
don't
was
know.
either
Yeah, it's hard to know what the States, because obviously I think there's always been that difference between America, or Middle America seems to be more sort of guitar rock / country heavy. A lot of the stuff that was popular here didn't really seem to translate over there. I mean, I know there are
Nope.
people here and on Periscope who are music heads who love British music, but for the most part, most of the population of America seems to have passed them by. So I don't know
Well,
what top bands of the 90s in America were. I don't know.
oh, well, the most of the '90s, you got to think of the boy bands and your just yeah. I mean, I think the only band that had some renown in the '90s that have rock and roll even credentials is, I think, Pearl Jam was, like, I'm thinking the only one that had straight out of the '90s. Anybody else can, yeah. So yeah, because most of the good artists in the '90s were people that carried over from the '80s. They were kind of bringing their talent forward, but a strictly '90s phenomenon.
A lot of 80s artists didn't translate well in the 90s, because what kind of happened, 80s were sort of certainly the early 80s, but for the most part the 80s were kind of decadent. It was excessive, it was big shoulder pads, it was lots of makeup, it was flamboyant, and then grunge happened, and it wasn't
Yeah.
cool to be flamboyant or big, or have hairspray or any of that kind of stuff. So the 80s didn't really translate the great in the 90s, but there was some real rubbish. I'm trying to think what was around when I was at school. So I think most of the people at school would be listening, because I was born in 81, so my high school was 1993 to 1999. So you're talking my high school years, the 90s, and most
Right.
people were listening to Take That and the Spice Girls and that crap. And of course, I went through a massive Adam Ant phase in the middle of the 90s, because as you do 10 years after somebody leaves the charts. And I was still listening to Jean-Michel Jarre and Kraftwerk and Ultravox and all that stuff. And then I kind of, the mid-90s sort of happened. I liked bands like Garbage, and there was a lot of Britpop people around, like Elastica, and a lot of women actually fronting bands. And everybody knows Blur and Oasis, but you had like Pulp and lots of other Britpop. My mind's a blank at the moment, but there were lots of other I don't know if Britpop took
So
off.
sad. We're all drawing blanks. That's so bad.
Yeah.
Christina's reeling off some there, and most of those bands you can't give away. I mean, just yeah.
Well, Nirvana were big in the 90s. They would be classed as probably one of your biggest exports. No.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think they were more on sizzle than steak with Nirvana. I was telling Rev last night that you should be able to name 5 kick-ass, drag-out tunes from any band that considers themselves a rock and roll Hall of Famer. And even I'm thinking Nirvana. It's hard to come up with 5 songs. You got Teen Spirit. You got well, you guys. I probably could walk up to the average American and ask them name 5 Nirvana songs, and they probably couldn't do it. Yeah. Same with Bob Marley. People don't realize that Bob Marley was zero entity when he was alive. His music did not sell in the States. He couldn't get arrested. He didn't chart at all in the rock charts, and he only got into the mid 50s. One song on the R&B charts here in America. So
do you think the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame should only depend on American success then?
Being that it's an indigenous rock thing, I'm going to say yes, because the British charts and the US charts very rarely lined up to each other. I would say 95.
If somebody's been massively successful in another country, does it negate their success because it's been in another country?
Oh no. Well, again, like somebody like Elton John, Beatles, Stones, they've translated very well to the States. Mm-hmm. Paul Weller, on the other hand, I love Paul Weller, but most Americans, he could steal a tenor from them and they couldn't describe him to the police. Seriously.
But what I'm saying is, if you had, an American band that were successful elsewhere, in the same way we're talking about British music not necessarily translating in America, it must go the other way as well, would it?
Yes, it does. Success? Yes, there was a lot of U.S. acts that did a lot better over in the state, better over there than they did here in the States. Gina Washington, if you want to go back to the '60s, he's another one. He could walk up to you nude, Times Square, New Year's Eve. You couldn't describe him. You'd be like, officer, I don't know.
Yeah. Ultravox, I know, Christina, and yet I think they're one of the most underrated bands of all time. There are bands that have come since then that would not exist without Ultravox. You wouldn't have Muse, you wouldn't have The Killers, you wouldn't have countless bands that came after what Ultravox pioneered. They were a rock band with traditional rock instrumentation and synthesizers. And, and well, they wouldn't be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
No, but the thing is,
they were a good band,
right? And there's a lot of great things. I mean, I think it's all in the name, Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
influencers.
But what I'm saying to you is, does it need to be fame in America? Because that's what you're saying. If you went up to an American in the street and asked about Nirvana, they wouldn't. But what I'm saying to you is, they were successful here. So does that negate their success because it wasn't in America? What I'm saying.
Yeah, I would say that success, I mean, I'm saying global to me, it's part of it, but the U.S. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, it's definitely U.S. centric. It's not an international body, because that was the case.
Yeah, should it be? That's what
should it be?
Because it's not the American Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, it's just the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So
it's based in America. You're right.
I know that, but what I'm saying to you is, I'm just going solely by that example we've used as Nirvana, and I'm not a massive Nirvana fan. Like I
Right.
bought one of their albums, right? But I'm just using that as an example. So you're saying they shouldn't be in there because if you went up to an American in the street and asked them to name, 3 Nirvana songs or 5, or they wouldn't. But what I'm saying to you is, like, does that negate their success elsewhere because Americans don't know them? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would say yes, because again,
No,
just like
that's the answer.
baseball.
That's the answer. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, even Pearl Jam falls under that list. They were a great albums act, but as in popular songs, there's not too many songs that people can sing along with Pearl Jam. I mean, how they got in, I don't know.
I didn't know they had it, and I didn't know that. Chili Peppers? I'm trying to think what else was around in the 90s that would be.
No, they're an 80s band, Chili Peppers. They started out in the early 80s.
Yeah, but Blood Sugar Sex Magic was 90s, no?
Yeah, but they have to say their first hit had to be 25 years previous to the time they were put into the Hall of Fame. Inducted, yeah. So, but you got to remember,
Sorry, it's just when you were saying 90s, the music, I'm thinking of 90s acts because that's what we were discussing.
Yeah, 90s acts. Yeah. Well, yeah, here in the States, the 90s acts were they were bad. I mean, you're sitting there, you're thinking about it. You're like you mentioned the Spin Doctors, Gross. Yeah, I mean, Blind Melon. Yeah, Christina's naming a lot of them that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then you get the arena test on them too. I mean, that's what we get to see. Will people shell out money to still come see these acts from the 90s? The only ones I can think of being that successful, Celine Dion still puts butts in seats in Vegas. I mean, she had her residency there, and people went to go see her a couple times a week.
Was she 90s?
Yep. She's 90s. Yes, her first hit was in, I think, 1990.
Just reading Christina's comments.
Yeah, let's see. Top bands of the 90s. Top performers, 1990s. Okay. Here in the States, let's go ahead then and read down the list and have some good laughs.
And all that nonsense. They were
exactly.
I saw that.
See, in the UK, we had a lot of dance music in the 90s. You know how you had like Fatboy Slim and
right.
In the early 90s, you had like Adamski, and it was all kind of dance music that was coming through. But I don't think you guys. I don't think that translated to.
No, did not translate. The Rockefeller Skank did something over here in the States, but it wasn't like it wasn't played everywhere. Now it's more of like commercials. They'll use it for that.
Yeah.
But
I'm trying to think what else you had. I'm so tired. My brain's.
Okay.
You had what was that other? There was Fatboy Slim, and there was. You had Faithless, and you had. I don't know if those were 90s or if those were more sort of 2000s though. I know that Fatboy Slim's big hit was 99.
Right.
Yeah, late 90s, but early dance music was coming in sort of early, and then you had like MC Hammer and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Woo. Yeah, I can't see him hoisting a Hall of Fame trophy there. No, just not gonna happen. Yeah, because
Ace of Base. Do you remember Ace of Base? Did they make it to America?
Yes, they made it here, and yeah, they Tammy likes them. I'll just be nice and say that.
Yeah, there's lots of boy bands around as well. You had like Boyzone and Take That and Westlife and all that. See, I was never into any of that, so it's hard for me to even name them.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, again, 90s. It's I will say it's like the most musically fallow period in history there. I mean, there's nothing. I mean, the ground could open up, swallow up all the artists, close back again, and we would just go. Yeah, we'd be. Oh, did you hear that? What was that?
Did you manage to pull up a list? Top artists?
Yes.
Read that out? Go on.
Yes, I did. Here we go. Number one on the list, Mariah Carey.
Oh God. Right, go on. Next.
Janet Jackson's a holdover from the 80s.
Okay.
Madonna's a holdover from the 80s.
Yep.
Boys to Men.
Next.
Next, Whitney Houston, which is a holdover from the 80s.
Yeah, I was
She was an
never a big
80s.
fan of Whitney Houston either. I'm sorry. I know that that's like supposedly
No.
sacrilege, but
No,
meh.
no. Next,
Next.
Celine Dion is the only. Yeah, Celine Dion.
Next.
R. Kelly.
Next.
Puff Daddy.
Right. Okay. I can see where this is going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Puff Daddy. TLC.
Yeah, I remember them. Yeah. Again. Next.
Monica.
Who?
Monica. That was the performer's name. Monica. She. Yeah.
I genuinely have no idea who that is.
Toni Braxton.
Again, she had only a couple of hits. Like I don't know how big she
Right.
was over there, but she only had a couple of hits here.
Exactly. Brandy.
Who?
Brandy. Yeah, Brandy and Monica are kind of like same type of
Never heard of
nondescript.
either of them.
Yeah. En Vogue.
I've heard of them, but again, next.
Next. Michael Jackson, Prince, and Rod Stewart, which are previous. Can't give them any credit. And yeah.
Yeah.
Aerosmith,
Obviously.
previous.
Yeah.
Babyface.
Who? Shucks, thanks.
Yeah. No, that was the guy's name. Honest, it was his name. Baby Kenneth Edmonds, aka Babyface. Yeah.
Never heard of
Yeah.
him.
Never heard of him. See, there you go. We had Cher and Jennifer Lopez was number 20. If I can turn back time.
When I was walking in Memphis.
There you
I was
go.
walking with my feet 10 feet off me.
What was
Do I
that?
really feel the way I feel?
Sing it. Sing it.
Sorry, go on. Carry on. We know here, but again, you're right. Predate in the 90s. Carry on.
Predate. We had J-Lo and Sheryl Crow, which kind of rhymes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tolerable.
Alanis Morissette, Annie Lennox, and REM, which all Annie. Yeah, Annie and REM are pre-90s.
Yeah.
Spice Girls, yay!
Next.
Faith Hill. No, Shania Twain. Seal.
Yeah, I feel like a woman. Go on. Oh, Jesus. Right, next.
Next, Goo Goo Dolls.
Mm,
Yeah,
nothing's
Yeah.
singing to me,
I know. Fugees, No Doubt, and Ricky Martin. Wow.
Out of the three of those, possibly the Fugees, but
Yeah, Lauryn Hill, incredible flake. Oh my God, we've worked a few of her shows, and I always ask to not work her shows because she's always at least 3 hours late. Notorious. It's like her thing. She likes being late, and I don't like being out till 1 a.m. Doing concerts. That's just no. Lauryn Hill.
Oh yeah,
Nope. Santana, Britney Spears, Jewel, and Sarah McLachlan are the next four.
God.
Woo! Boy,
What
the
a load of
90s,
dross.
man. What was that?
I said, what a load of dross. Next.
Yes. Yeah. I will sit there and the 90s were just PU. So I'm saying they're going to have to shut down the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They're going to run out of people to put in there. They're going to just have to lock it up and turn it into an exhibit event there.
It's scary, isn't it?
Yeah. Real scary. So, and I'll go all the way down to number 50 here. There's Christina's favorite band at number 37, Counting Crows. Elton was at 38, Usher was at 39, and Backstreet Boys were at number 40.
Dun, 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 bum, ba-da, bum. Next.
Christine Aguilera, Montel Jordan, Hootie and the Blowfish, and Melissa Etheridge. Yikes.
These are all very American, by the way. Like, I don't think
Very much.
I don't think they had big hits here. Like, I've
No.
heard of them, but I don't think they were like big here.
No.
I would love you to do the same thing for British acts after you've done this list of 50.
I'll be more than happy to do that for you.
Yep.
Our last let's see, last 6: Amy Grant, Dave Matthews, George Michael, the Wallflowers, Leanne Rimes, and Natalie Cole.
So again, it's a mixture of artists that are pre-90s and country music.
I know. It's sad that those were your top 50 artists in America. And and I can say if the ground opened up and swallowed up only the 90s people on that list, we wouldn't miss
any of them.
We wouldn't miss any of them.
Nope, that's true. Very true.
Not a peep. So let's go take a look here. 50 biggest sellers here in the UK.
I don't think it'll be any better, by the way. I'm just saying. I think there'll be a lot more dross in amongst that.
Oh, we got list of let's see here. Top 10 British rock bands. Okay. Let's start with that here. That's top 10 HQ from the 90s. Charlatans UK.
Charlatans
Suede.
UK. These are all like Britpop. Right, so you're talking like Britpop kind of.
Well, they have them listed under rock here. So let me just see if I can find the let's see, Suede. Or Swede. It is Suede,
and they were all right, but I wouldn't say they were a massive band.
Okay, they got Manic Street Preachers.
The Manic Street Preachers. See, did they not make it to the States? The Manics.
Yeah, Radiohead was number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Oasis was number 2 according to this list. Blur.
See, they're all Britpop, all of them.
Yeah.
Blur came over here.
Blur, yeah, but they weren't huge over here.
I hope I remember them.
Yeah. Pulp.
This is exactly what I said to you. Mid-90s, Blur, Pulp, Oasis. Just exactly what I said to you. They're all Britpop bands.
Britpop.
Yep.
I'm trying to figure out what website would have a good listing. I'm gonna try Wikipedia. They usually will do you good.
Yeah. Because
Wikipedia.org.
Other bands like Muse, but I don't think they were 90s. I think they were like sort of early 2000s.
Mm.
Did the Manics not make it there, Christina? No.
Performers. Let's see here. Mid-90s. Nope. Born in the 90s.
I mean, those bands you listed sound better than the bands that were American bands, but I wouldn't say they were massive. Like they were an alternative, an alternative niche. I wouldn't say they were like people like me would listen to their stuff, but it wasn't like a massive.
Okay, well, let's see. Christina recommends Rate My Music.
Yeah, because things like the Spice Girls and Take That, those are the big bands. Like, I don't think Radiohead were particularly massive. Again, they were a good album band, but
yeah, exactly. Let's see.
I mean, I would put Garbage in there as well. I would put Garbage on that list, but I don't think they were big in America, and they weren't that massive here either.
Right. I mean, there's difference between good and popular. That's for damn sure. Mm-hmm. Let's see. There's the news. Okay, we could do it by year. Let's see.
RateYourMusic.com. We did the British Love in the 90s, the top 100 artists.
Okay, here we go. UK singles charts. We could do the number 1 songs and kind of a good laugh with those.
Let's do that. I wish I had a cup of tea on hand for this, but like, are we going through
but you
100 songs?
Okay. Let's see. RateYourMusic.com. Who did the British love in the 90s? Okay. Well, let's.
Hang on. Are we going through a list? Are we going through a list of 100 singles?
Okay. Christina's writing them down here. Lisa Stansfield.
No,
Will
but
Smith.
I want to make a cup of tea and have a
Go,
Blu-ray.
go.
See, I liked Texas, but I don't know how big they were. But anyway, right, I'll be back in a sec. I'm just going to mute my mic.
All right. I say, don't forget your cup. Wow. Lisa Stansbury. Cliff Richards. Man, that guy's been around since the dawn of time, since the 50s. 911. Oh, jeez. I remember Will Smith, his Willanium, and getting jiggy with it. Na. Kylie Minogue, yeah, of course. Can't get you out of my head. Erasure, Queen. Oh my goodness, this is hilarious. Need some really yikes. Oh yeah, Cliff Richard, Little in Love, Dreamin'. There's 80s stuff there. Devil Woman was kind of, but you're just a little in love. Oh yeah, just a little in love. UB40, yeah, U2. Yeah, Cliff Richard was awesome. Yeah, Living Doll. He goes way back to them. Jamiroquai. Now, see, I like those guys, or at least a few of the songs. Simply Red, yeah. Holding back the years. Dun, dun, dun. Yep, Pet Shop Boys. Looks like the UK did a little bit better than we did here in the States with staying power here so far. John Bovey. Yeah, who? Steps? Yeah, I'm like, another one, who? Wow. This is absolutely crazy. When a man loves a woman. Back streets back. Feel like I'm listening to a K-Tel commercial here. Snap. Oh boy, they actually were that big. Holy mackerel. I know The Power was like the big song from them. R. Kelly, there he is. Manic Street Preachers, yeah, they were mentioned. REM. Don't go back to Rockville. Roxette, Blur, wow. I'm not seeing a lot of Hall of Famers on here from the 90s. Strictly 90s, should I preface that with? Ooh. Oh, think she's back. And she's back.
She's back. Yes, who's back? All right. It's that thing, that thing getting up and down. You're like, oh, we're still going through the listing. Okay, shall we read them through? See, I like the Prodigy as well, but I don't think, again, that was Dancing. I don't think they made it to the States.
Okay, well, let's scroll back and start at number 50 and work our way forward here, as Christina writes them.
By the way, Christina, can I just say thank you for taking the time? Yeah,
Christina, this is why she's the trivia queen, because she goes straight to the source and susses it right out.
That was very cool. Thank you for doing that. Okay.
Exactly. See, this is the type of show we need, right? People sitting around. We bring up the book of lists where we sit around and just talk about things. And this is like, okay, today we're going to talk about groups from the 80s. And today we're going to talk about the 90s, the 2000s, whatnot. And
a good bunch of people. Like, it's cool.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to read them out?
Oh, sure. Let's go with number 50, Lisa Stansfield. Only thing I remember about her is doing a nude video. That's the one that stands out.
Yeah. I
And
can't
that's sad.
find my baby.
That's like her first hit.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan. Next.
Next, Will Smith.
See, that's kind of cheating because, okay, had a music career, but he's an actor.
Right. But he also was part of the 80s when he was the Fresh Prince. So he's 80s anyway, so he gets zipped off the list there.
Okay.
Now, Texas is really. Yes. Now did the solo, like a whole bunch of cover songs. I know she did a version of Xanadu that was absolutely just lights out. I remember seeing that video of her doing that, or their lead singer.
That, but I remember the White on Blonde album. So the first hit, actually, if we're going to be really pedantic, I think it was 1987 with I Don't Wanna Love.
Okay. So they don't count?
Technically 80s, but it was a one hit. And then they didn't do anything until sort of 95 when White and Blonde came out. And that was where you had your black-eyed soul. You should know that there's nowhere else to go. My black-eyed boy, you will find your own space in time.
Woo!
Right, go on. Next.
Diana Ross needs no mentioning. She still had a career in the 90s there in the UK. Not much here in the States. Sting. Yeah, Sting doesn't count.
No. Richard, next, because he's short.
911 or 911. Who are those guys? 911. Am I missing something?
911. Were they not like a wee boy band? I don't remember.
I'm going to defer to you because
I think the fact that I don't remember pretty much sums up. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. Were 911 not like? Were they not like related to? Was 911 not the one that there was like a cousin of one of the Jacksons or something, or a nephew of one of the Jacksons or something? Were they not like a Next Generation Jackson 3 or something? I can't remember.
Don't know.
I was never into boy bands.
No. Kylie Minogue, she was 80s. She was an 80s. Locomotion was a long time before the 90s.
Yeah.
Erasure, same. Queen, same. Ace of Base, there you go. There's your man.
Is another baby. She's gone tomorrow, but all that she wants is another baby. Yeah. We're enjoying this too much. This
is absolutely nuts. Tina, of course, 60s. UB40, 80s. Yeah, Jeffrey Morgan by UB40, still my favorite album by them. If it happens again, I'm leaving. Pack over my things and go. If it happens again, let me know, turning back, and I won't say I told you so. Okay. 36, Gloria Estefan. 80s.
Next.
Yeah. U2, 70s.
Love them, but they were not 90s. Yep.
Jamiroquai. Got candy in my heels tonight, baby. No.
How many hits did they have, though? Again, it's like...
That's true. Well...
hits.
Yeah, Canned Heat, All Right, Virtual Insanity, Cosmic
Insanity. Yeah, okay, fair enough. They were okay. Yeah. Jamiroquai were okay. They were all right. I wouldn't run out and buy their albums, but they were all right. Right. He seemed like a fair enough, cool kind of person.
Right.
All right. Passable.
Okay. Simply Red, 80s. Yep. Pet Shop Boys. 80s.
Again, 80s, yep.
Rod Stewart, 60s, 70s, yeah. Mm-hmm. Bon Jovi, 80s. 29 Steps. Yeah, Christina and I we're going to defer to you on this one. 29 Steps.
Who dat? Steps were crap. There were
Steps.
it was all covers that they did. They had a really big hit with Tragedy when the feeling's gone and you can't go on
What?
sweating. And they had this crap
What?
dance that went with it. They were like I think it was two boys and two girls, and it was all cover. They
Oh.
didn't write anything. It was all cover songs. They were shit.
Oh.
Yeah.
How do you really feel about it?
Yeah,
Next.
they were shit. Next.
2 Unlimited, number 28.
Do you remember them?
No.
No, 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 there's no limits, no, no limits, no reach for the skies, no valley too deep, no mountain too high. Doom, 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 doom. Techno, 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 doom, 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 doom. Again, you're talking dance music. Yeah, this was all big in the 90s, right? Next.
Yeah. Michael Bolton, 80s. Yeah. Backstreet Boys. Next. Snap.
Do you know Snap?
I got the power.
Yes, that was Snap. Yep. Again, you're talking dance music.
Yeah. R. Kelly, which he who should not be named going forward. Next, Manic Street Preachers.
Do you know them?
I do not know them. I was out.
Manic Street Preachers are Welsh. The biggest hit was probably "If you tolerate this, then your children will be next." Again, they were kind of like you wouldn't class them as Britpop, but they were kind of flung into that same thing as Radiohead and Muse and that sort of like not
Right.
rock, but they were kind of throwing them in the Britpop
Okay.
sort of bubble, you know. They were good.
It's all right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, but I don't think they'd be arrested for anything that of note. You couldn't pick any one of them out of the crowd, right?
Well, the thing as well is I'm not entirely sure when the Manic started. Like they might have started in the like much like Pulp did, because Pulp were around in the 80s as well. So I'm not sure. I would need to research that.
Well, REM, we know they're way back.
Yeah.
Blur.
How well did Blur do in the States?
I guess they did okay. I remember selling a lot of them when I worked at the Virgin Mega Store, but they were not like kicked down the door, people clamoring to see it or to buy them or anything.
They had a few #1 hits here, but there was this sort of rivalry with Oasis. There was always this sort of rival. So Oasis were from Manchester, and Blur were from London. There was always this sort of like fake, and much the same way there was the Beatles and the Rolling Stones sort of, you know.
Right.
They had the same thing with Blur, and actually Blur were a better band. Oasis were massively overrated, and Blur were actually the better of the two. And then obviously Damon Albarn went on to do Gorillaz and all that kind of stuff as well.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, Blur were talented, but I'm actually surprised they're only number 21. I thought they would have been higher on the list than that.
Okay, well, maybe they had more success in the new millennium there, so who knows? Roxette.
It must have been love, but it's over now.
Enough said. That's it.
Yep, they were 80s, weren't they?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, because they're in that song was in that Pretty Woman film, which was like mid-80s or something, wasn't it? Anyway,
Yeah,
right.
86, 87-ish, maybe. I know my record store was open. The one I was running, I remember the Pretty Woman soundtrack, so it had to be between 87 and 89. So,
yeah.
Well, Prince goes without saying. 18, Eternal.
Eternal were a girl group.
Mm-hmm.
I think if I remember correctly, it was 3 mixed race girls. I'm not sure, but I can't remember if they did cover versions or if it was originals. I think they might have been cover versions. There was a lot of that dross going around, you know, like girl and boy groups covering songs and not actually writing anything. I think they were one of those. I can't remember what hits they had. I can't remember. Obviously, again, if I can't remember.
And you were there and you can't remember. Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
And then Christina puts in a number 17, Wet, Wet, Wet. One of her all-time favorites.
But they're 80s.
Yes. Prodigy. Firestarter!
And the Firestarter! Twisted Firestarter! I like Prodigy, actually.
Oh yeah, they definitely they were great live. It was what a must see. Cher, we will not mention. Elton,
Yeah.
same. George Michael, same. Take That. There, hey, we get the number 12, one of your favorites.
I hated Take That, but the main reason I hated Take That wasn't just because I hated the music, it was because all the bullies at school, all the little bastards that were bullies at school, all liked to Take That. So that's what I associated them with. So that put me off.
Ah,
That put me off Take That forever. You know.
exactly.
Next.
Okay. Bryan Adams, Old.
Yeah.
People don't realize that Bryan Adams did a disco song in the late 70s that charted.
Really?
Yes, he
We
did.
need to dig that out and listen to it.
Well, I have it somewhere around here. Trust me, I will torture you with it someday.
You
That
can
is true.
find it when and dig it out when you're digging out your Starman. You can put these things on the list, all the things you need to dig out.
All right, here we go. The top 10 Spice Girls.
Talentless.
Next, Janet, Old. East 17.
Now, East 17 were like, they were a boy band, but they were like, they were kind of not rivals to Take That, but East 17 were all like working class kids that were like kind of commoner, like London boys, and they like you were like more sort of street smart, and Take That were
Right.
like, you know, and they were very similar. They were of very similar ilk. They did do quite well. I think their biggest hit was probably the Christmas song that they did, which wasn't
Okay.
even a Christmas song, but it was released at Christmas. Stay Another Day. Baby,
Okay.
if you've got to go away, don't think I can take the pain. Won't you stay another day? Obviously, that didn't get to the States because you're looking like, what the
No,
fuck?
no, I'm giving you the tilted head. Like,
It did quite well here, but
okay,
I was never a fan. Go on, next.
okay. Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, yep. Boyzone, number 5.
Again, boy band, Irish, but
Okay.
actually they were more like the rivals to Take That. So you had like Boyzone and Take That around about the same sort of time. East 17 kind of tried to infiltrate that. Again, as I'm saying, all boy bands or girl bands, they were just and Boyzone did a lot of covers. I'm guessing they didn't make it to the States.
No, we had our own stuff over here that we were trying to cram down the masses' throats. So yeah, we didn't need them. I guess we covered everybody else up until number 1, Oasis, and there they are, in their shining glory in the 90s.
Massively overrated.
Yeah,
Sorry. I
they
know
were
that's
more known.
controversial.
No, no, it isn't.
A lot of people will say, you know, a lot, because I know people that are big Oasis fans, and I don't care if I get flack for it. They were massively overrated. Sorry, even in their technical ability, they were.
All right.
They were wannabe Beatles. That's what they were. They wanted to be the Beatles, but just, you know, it was never going to happen. Thanks for typing that out, Christina. That was great.
Yeah, Christina gets the gold star for the night, and and tune in tomorrow where you guys get to test your acumen with her quiz.
Yeah,
and I will definitely be there. So, and let's see, Boyzone was pretty good. Okay, Gareth Gates. Let's see if she like you too. So massively overrated.
I need to go back and because I'm missing. So hang on, number 1's Oasis. What covers a boy band 911? More Than a Man, part people a little bit more. They look light skinned. We're talking about Eternal. Ace of Base started this late 80s. Is all right. Okay, so Ace of Base don't even count.
Ah,
After
that's
all
true.
that.
Yeah.
Did a cover of
So,
Tragedy. Yep, they did.
On both sides of the Atlantic, the 90s were poop.
Absolute guff. Yep.
Yeah. So we can agree. That's the one thing I think all of us music heads in the room can agree to, that the less said about the 90s, the better.
There's Christina saying she likes some Robbie Williams, who obviously was originally from Take That. I think he was probably more successful as a solo artist, though, wasn't he? Because he did quite well when he left Take That.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, hold on. What was that? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Wow, we turned a kind of a corner here. Oh yeah, yeah. Technically, born in the '90s is the criteria. Yeah. So I think that no native '90s band is worth a hill of
Worthy.
beans, and the guys who got in were Nirvana and Pearl Jam here in the states, and both of them were not big top 50 artists. They were
When
kind
were
of an
they?
underground thing.
When were they inducted?
Let's see. I know. I think. Let's see. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Rock and Roll Hall of Famers.
Yeah, because
Okay.
Nirvana hasn't turned up on either of those lists. Nirvana wasn't
Yeah.
even on any of the lists.
I know. That's the crazy part. So we had going backwards, and last year we had Depeche Mode, Doobie Brothers, Whitney Houston, Nine Inch Nails, Notorious B.I.G., and T-Rex. Which.
I do think that Depeche Mode deserve to be in there.
Yeah, they have at least 5 songs.
And they've been massively successful on both sides of the pond. And they still sell out stadiums. So they deserve it. Good night, Christina. Thanks for popping in.
Good night, Christina. Thanks for hanging in there. Yeah, Depeche Mode, because I can't be the curmudgeonly old guy at the gate keeping them out. So they get in. Doobie Brothers, wow. They got at least 5 songs that people know. What a Fool Believes, Taking It to the Streets, Listen to the Music. What the hell is that? Not Long Train Running. Yeah, they got at least 5 songs there. So they get in. Whitney, of course, we gotta let her in because she has at least 5 songs. 9 Inch Nails, though, that's tough. I don't know if I'd put them in because I mean, yeah, Trent's cool and all, and he has a whole vibe, but I don't think he's.
If we're going by the criteria that you're saying no in 5 songs, then probably not.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a. I mean, yeah. Oh, Blackwater. There's Christina. Thank you. So yeah, I wouldn't put him in. I'm sorry.
What is the process for? Sorry, I don't know enough about this, but what is the process for someone being inducted? Like, is it a voting system? Is it a nomination?
It's a voting system. It is a voting system with journalists in America.
Right.
American journalists usually.
So, what do they just get? Is it just whoever gets the most nominations, or does it get is there a list and then they get narrowed down, or like how? Does
yes, there's a huge list, and then it gets whittled down to finalists, and then it gets whittled down to the people who get in.
Got you. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
So again, 9 Inch Nails. I don't.
It's just like a couple of people who have decided, oh, we want to induct our favorite bands. Like it hasn't worked that way. Like there has actually been a process.
There has been a process. Right.
Okay, got you.
Yeah. So there's that. And then let's see. Let's skip back a year. The Cure, Def Leppard, Janet Jackson, Stevie Nicks as a solo performer, Radiohead, Roxy Music, and the Zombies.
Interesting.
Comments?
I'm trying to think how many of each of their songs I know.
Exactly.
I get your point.
Yeah. I mean, Zombies. I love the Zombies. Odyssey and Oracle is probably one of my all-time favorite albums, but Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
We didn't know any of this stuff. Yeah.
Don't think so. Especially it took them that long to get inducted this far after the fact. I mean, their first hit was in 1965. Okay, that's 1 year after I was born. Do the math how long that is. So, I mean, that was kind of a pity thing, you know, you're like, well, we have nobody else to put in, so what about these guys? And I watched, they're still good live. I went to see them with Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys. They toured together. And, So,
we were just discussing Roxy Music the other day, when the Professor was talking to Rev about T-Rex, I had mentioned Roxy Music. We were just discussing that in the comment section.
Right.
And are Roxy Music in there?
Well, let's take a look. Yes, they are. They got mentioned next to the zombies. They're right before the zombies.
Got you. Okay.
Yes, they're in. They're safe.
Fair enough.
Yes, they get in
But
because
they were much more successful than T-Rex were.
Yes, they were. Yeah, T-Rex. That's another one. I kind of scratched my hair on my chinny chin chin and go.
Yeah, you were saying that in RevScope yesterday.
Yeah, I don't think I'd put them in. All right, let's back up. Let's do 2 more years, then we'll call it here because I think Jim went on. Right? Did he finally pop on? And,
oh, did he? Did he? Oh, okay.
Oh, he's been on. So.
Head over.
Oops.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, my Wi-Fi's gone down. Hang on, it'll come back.
Oops. There you go.
Sometimes it just periodically does that. It just jumps. There we go.
There we go. Boop. Okay, yeah. One last year, and then people can comment and throw rocks and stones at us here. So let's go. 2008, Cars, Dire Straits, Moody Blues, Nina Simone, Electric Light Orchestra. Nope, Nina Simone was the last of 2018. And look how small that class is of 2018. Bon Jovi, Cars, Dire Straits, Moody Blues, and Nina Simone. Let's see. Nina Simone's first hits were in the early 60s, so she got in way late. Moody Blues' first hit was in 1964 with Go Now. They got in real late. Dire Straits' first hits were...
I think Dire Straits is fair. I think they deserve to be in there.
But it took them forever. You see how far back they had to go to get somebody to go in there? Yeah. Because their first hit, Sultans of Swing, was 77? Yeah, Sultans of Swing, 78, 77, 78. That's way back. And then the Cars, same thing. Their first hit was in 78. So that pretty much, the year of 2018, they had to manufacture a list out of nowhere because they had nobody in the 90s that could bring anything to the party. That goes to show how shitty the 90s were. So that's why I said they're going to have trouble putting people in that hall going forward. They're going to have real trouble.
Yep.
So
no, you're right. You've got a valid point. Point proven, Professor.
Point proven. Thank you.
You've made your case.
Yes, my thesis has been proven.
And the jury rests, and your case has been proven.
Thank you. Oh, nice to have somebody actually listen to me and go, yeah. And she's like, okay, and with that, you're getting let go.
No, I hadn't realized Jim had gone on. I feel really bad.
I know.
Yeah. Oh! Try not to lose my cup.
Uh-oh.
I nearly knocked it right off my...
Yes, Costello's in there. He got in a long time ago. He got in properly back when he was available. So his first hit was in 77. But now again, that your picture's in the paper being ripped admired, you can have anyone. Go ahead. And all you got.
I think he might be more successful in the States than he was here.
Yes, he was. Yeah.
Yeah,
he was. I mean, the critics loved him because, as David Lee Roth once pointed out, they all look like him.
That's true. That's so true.
Just saying.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Right, Professor. Shall we disappear and go head into Jim's and go give him some support? Cheap Seats, thank you so much for sticking around and for all your comments and your awards and all that jazz. And Jim, what's his handle? Jim, hang on.
JS Haps. JS Haps.
Let's put his thing in the. Let's put his link in the comments so people know where to migrate to. Hang on. Let's just get a wee.
And for all of you who've caught the replay on this, thank you again for your support. And Helen, thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining. It's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't get to be bubble-headed very often, but I like it when I do get to sit around in the, what's that, mega mind you call it? The mastermind?
Mastermind. Yeah, Megamind is a film.
Yeah, Megamind.
Yeah. I was wondering, I was like, did you talk about Megamind? I don't remember that part of the conversation.
No.
That's hilarious. Okay, Professor, thank you so much for coming in. As we put the link in the comments for Jim's broadcast, and I'll see you over there.
TTFN.
Bye, everybody. Bye.